I sip a hot tea, watching Archie flip on Meathead. I left the page ripped torn, writing what the beat said. On the mic is Heat Red. All crooked, lead, weak, and gluten free. He is who he is who he be. Mind your biz for me. It could even help you in the long run. What good's a song if the jong's no fun? Sun, Shogun, invisible armor level 5.
Yeah, my mic wasn't even working at the time. Hey everyone. I've been sick these last couple of weeks or whatnot. That's why I was not constantly streaming or whatnot. But yeah, welcome to the stream everyone. I'm too, but if you already hear, you already do that. But yeah, let's do this bitch. Um, I'm listening to music at the same time while doing this, so let's turn off that. But yeah, we're gonna react to a bunch of videos that I've been watching and all that good stuff. Let's post that here. Bam. Let's go here. Let's go library. Library. And let's hit up this week in drama. Hold on, what is this? Oh shit, some of these are old. Yeah, some of these are old. But no, this is one of the funniest videos
There
ever.
goes the boss of the operation. My father, Larry Wayne Petty Sr.
Well, this is the funniest
Walking
video
like
ever.
he old. What's wrong with him?
Damn, he's sweaty as
You're on
fuck.
camera. Say something.
Last night and night before, there was 3 women walking down the street that way. I saw them. I said, hey, you 3 women, why are y'all walking down the street that way? There's nothing down there. And they flew away. I said, oh, them was some birds.
Dude said there's some birds. Why is that so funny? Hey yo. Hey yo. Even he lost some of us laughing.
Headphones.
So oh wait, what? No. Back. Geographic King, who is this?
Howdy, it's Kyle talking about the 8 worst places in the U.S. And right
Oh,
off the
word?
bat, I want to say this isn't intended to be a funny video.
So this is the top 8 places. I bet you one of them was California. Watch.
I'm not here to make fun of these places or the people that live there, but just give a general overview of some of these really bad places in the country. And a lot of us, including myself, live a pretty cushy life where we don't experience these places or this lifestyle firsthand. And for millions of Americans, this is what they experience every single day. These are the places that people live.
Oh, shit is in
A lot of us are
America.
just
Let's
completely
go.
oblivious to the other America. So in this video,
Let's find out how toxic this video is gonna be, guys.
I want to count down the 8 worst places in the entire country. All of these aren't going to
I bet you none of them's gonna be sundown towns. Watch.
be a big shock to you. A lot of Americans know that some of these places I'm going to mention are just truly awful places, but other ones might be a bit of a surprise to you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to first start talking about the worst
If they're in impoverished neighborhoods like where minorities be at, I'm highly upset.
urban ghettos. Not all
Urban ghettos, let's go.
are created equal. And I'm going to talk about the 3 worst ones. The largest one, the most dangerous one, and the poorest one. And they aren't all the same. So I'm going to start with the largest one, which is Detroit. Detroit has the
Yeah, Detroit's fucked.
single largest area of just continuous urban blight in the entire country. And so much of the city is empty, derelict, and just truly ghetto. And a lot of it, you can't even really call it ghetto because it's just empty. It's almost like an urban ghost town. And it's just really bad. It's improved a little bit through the years. I've been visiting Detroit for about 20 years, and there have been some minor
Yeah, well the majority is black over there in Detroit too.
improvements, but it's still really, really bad. And so many stretches of town are just, again, they're just empty and derelict. And they're starting to do things with some of the old
Damn
factories
projects?
and with some of these, old plants and things. But it's been a very slow process, and in 20 years, not that much has been done. So, but the past couple of years has seen a little bit of improvement, but still,
Damn, not the candy store. Damn, this candy store is new too. They got a SpongeBob fucking thing in the front. This is ooh ooh that's bad. That must mean this shit must have closed early.
Detroit is truly awful and is the largest urban ghetto in the country. The most dangerous urban ghetto is Chicago, and the stats
Chicago, let's go. I knew he was gonna talk about black places.
here are ridiculous. The south and west side of the city have
Total eviction. God damn. Total murder victims under the age of 24. Holy fucking shit, bruh. That is a huge number to be under 24.
just seen
Almost 10K? When was this video made? 3 years ago? Okay, cool. That might spike up.
almost like war zone type activities going on, and the gang related murders, the violence going on there is incredible. Something you would expect to find in, say, Brazil or places like that. It's just truly, truly bad. And I haven't actually been through the worst parts of the ghetto in recent years when it's gotten really, really bad. I probably wouldn't either, but it is mostly gang on gang violence. So if I were to drive through there, I probably wouldn't have any issues. But at the same time, I still wouldn't be doing it. It's crazy.
Damn.
I don't know how it's gotten so much worse through the years, but it is such a huge area of just violence. And it is the most dangerous ghetto in the country, even though I guess you could say per capita the crime isn't as bad as, say, maybe St. Louis or other cities. But Chicago is so much bigger than St. Louis that the ghetto is just so much larger, and the overall amount of violence is incredible. But the difference between Chicago and Detroit is that not all of Chicago is like that. A lot of Chicago is very nice, very wealthy, and some really cool neighborhoods there. Most of Detroit's pretty ghetto. There isn't much to Detroit that isn't nasty. Most of Chicago is at least okay, but the parts of town that are ghetto are really bad and really violent, and it's the most violent inner city in the
Yeah, and drill's not helping either.
country. But neither Detroit nor Chicago are the poorest ghetto in the country. That goes to New Orleans. And New
New
Orleans'
Orleans.
ghetto is more like a third world
Damn, he's just naming black spots.
area. It's just really bad.
Damn, New Orleans.
It's just so much more poverty stricken than the larger ones up north. But the only saving grace for New Orleans' ghetto is that it isn't huge. It doesn't go on for miles and miles and miles. But pound per pound, it is the worst. It really does feel like you're in a
I don't like how these houses are like trailers. It looks like trailers.
third world country. It's just so bad and so poor. And it's not just because of Hurricane Katrina. It was like that before. And there was talking,
Oh, that's BS.
sort of joking, sort of
That's really BS.
serious, that Hurricane Katrina might be in the long term good for New Orleans as it cleaned out some of these horrible below sea level areas, the Ninth Ward specifically. And
All right, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Boom, bam, bop. All right. So we're not gonna use, but actually no, we're gonna have to use the first one. Oh shit, somebody did another one too. Crime in Africa, top 25 places, and this one. Damn, Birmingham, Atlanta. There's no way. Memphis, Tennessee. New Orleans at third. Atlanta, Georgia. Detroit, Michigan. Um, Baltimore. What's BM? MD. What's MD again? What state is MD? Maryland? Wow. I thought Maryland was an MY. Well, that's something I learned. Um, St. Louis. Oakland, and then Pine Bluff, Arizona. Then we got another one, Memphis, Tennessee, Albuquerque. Oh, Albuquerque's here. Let's see, Artichoke Outdoors Adventures, Bakersfield, California. Wow, what is this? Little Rock, Arizona. Uh, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't know. Um, Kalamazoo. Maryland looks nice though. Dude, these are like tourists. Like some of these are here, like Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Fresno. Fresno is farmland. What is this list? Huh? Let's go to the next one. So we got Detroit, Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Baltimore, Maryland, St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, city of Cleveland, Ohio, Little Rock, Arkansas, city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin and the sky and Wisconsin and the and Pan to Skyline. Wow, I don't know why that was so hard. Stock Stockton, California. They don't have Compton here. Damn. All right.
And there's been some new building there, some green kind of construction and things going on, but the overall ghetto scene in New Orleans is still very, very bad, and it's a lot poorer than Chicago or Detroit. But again, the overall ghetto size isn't anywhere near as big. So those are the three worst urban ghettos in the country. Detroit's the largest, Chicago's the most dangerous, and New Orleans is the poorest. And these are often associated with high crime and poverty, but urban ghettos are not as destitute as some other parts of the country. So urban areas aren't the only horrible parts of the US. Some
Okay.
of the rural parts of the country are where you have the most third world, the most poverty, and just the most destitution. So now I'm going to talk about the three worst rural parts of the country. The first of these rural areas I'm going to talk about is eastern Kentucky slash southwestern West Virginia. And this is just a huge area of almost continuous poverty. Whereas an urban ghetto might constitute a few neighborhoods over several miles in a city, this part of
Damn, this is
Appalachia is
redneck
several
on redneck.
counties that goes across state lines, and it's just a huge area where you can drive for over an hour and never really leave an area of poverty. There's a very tiny middle class and almost no upper class. A lot of people in this region don't have running water or electricity, which sounds crazy for a rich country like the US, but it's true. You can live in the worst ghetto of Detroit or Chicago, but you probably have electricity or running water. You might not be able to pay the bill for
Hey, you know what? He's kind of right. I kind of have to fall back from what I was saying earlier. He's actually kind of right. Because think about it, like in the most rural areas, you don't have the necessities that urban areas have. Yeah, you have water. You have sometimes water, sometimes electricity, sometimes heat. But out here, you probably have to make firewood.
the electricity, but the infrastructure is there. A lot of these places in the rural Appalachia region, the infrastructure isn't even there in the first place. This area is
Yeah, look
so
at the beer
large that you
cans.
might
Holy shit, he got beer cans everywhere.
have to drive a half an hour just to get to a grocery store. And when you get there, it only has frozen, boxed, and canned stuff. You might have to drive more than an hour just to get to a decent hospital. This area is a huge food desert. It's a huge healthcare desert. Healthcare problems are really bad. Obesity is really bad. Dental hygiene is really bad. A lot of the drinking water isn't even safe. I mean, it smells weird, it looks weird, and half the time I go to West Virginia, there's always some county there where there's a boil water advisory to not drink the water. That's an extremely common thing. So these areas are really, really bad, and almost like I said, third worldish because it's just extreme poverty for such a large region. And you also have a huge issue with drugs. You have a lot of people that are hooked on painkillers and crystal meth, and it's really
Of
sad.
course,
I've
meth.
walked around some of these small towns in southwestern West
Hold
Virginia,
on,
like a town called Logan.
bruh. He looks like he's not trying to like this to do, but he looks like the somebody who'd be on meth. But no, he's kind of buff, so he probably exercise. He looks like he does push-ups and sit-ups and shit.
And you just see so many people whose eyes are glazed and they're kind of shuffling their feet and they look like zombies.
Damn, her
it's
teeth is
just so
fucked.
sad at how many people are just
Yikes.
hooked into this cycle of poverty and drugs, and it doesn't really seem to be getting any better. In fact, it seems to be getting a little bit worse. The second awful rural area that takes up a large swath is the Mississippi River area of northwestern Mississippi
Oh, that
and
dress looks
southeastern
nice.
Arkansas. This is just, again, just true poverty through a large area, and it's also kind of third worldish. You have a lot of areas where there's no electricity or running water, and you see people living in these conditions. You can't believe this is the U.S., but it is. And this area has been poor forever, going back to the days of slavery and sharecropping, and just this area hasn't really ever improved. And this is where the blues music came from. I mean, you can see why it came from this area. So much of our music is because of how bad this area is. People had the blues, singing about it, and it just moved into rock and roll and all that kind of stuff. So I guess you can say there's one good thing about the poverty in this area, but it is still very destitute. It's
Tyrone,
very
Sports
similar
Bar and
to
Grill.
the Appalachian area, but the geography is different. It's flat, really hot and humid as opposed to mountainous and stuff, but it is pretty much the same kind of thing, just a large area of just
Jeez. Hold on, let's run back a little bit. This still looks like it's been upkeep though. It's just like up here, looks like ass and stuff.
flat,
I'll buy a soda
really
from
hot
here.
and humid as opposed to mountainous and stuff, but it is pretty much the same kind of thing, just a large area of
I did
just
ask
extreme
that he's not going to
poverty,
talk about
and
sundown
it never seems
towns.
to get much better. There's very little economic opportunity in this region. It's not like there's any companies moving to northwestern Mississippi or southeastern Arkansas. So what the future holds for this area, I don't know. It's kind of like Appalachia. They can't just keep holding on the coal. It's going away. So what are these areas doing to improve themselves? I don't know. But for right now, it's really bad. And kind of like the Appalachia area, it's not really getting any better. And the last of the three rural areas I'm going to mention is by far the worst one. And this is the Pine Ridge Reservation of the Lakota Sioux in southwestern South Dakota. The level of poverty on the reservation is astonishing. It's almost unbelievable. I've driven through it a couple of times on my trips to Badlands National Park and some of the other areas in southwestern South Dakota, and you just can't believe you're in the U.S.
That's their stove and their heater. This is inside a trailer too. Damn, if there was a fire that was sitting here, that'd be it. God damn. Oh, look at the doggos.
On my trips to Badlands National Park and some of the other areas in southwestern South Dakota, and you just can't believe you're in the U.S. when you see some of this stuff. You see people living in burned out buses, old RVs, houses made from pallets.
There's a church. There's a church right over here. Hold on. Oh, damn, y'all guys can't see my mouse, but there's a church right here.
You can't tell if somebody actually lives there until you see an electric meter on the side of this burned out
Yo,
bus
with
the
pallet
dials
crates?
turning. So
Hey, yo, that's
it's
smart.
crazy that people live in these kind of conditions. And again, it's kind of embarrassing that this is the U.S. and these are the indigenous population and they're living in some
No,
of these
it's the indigenous population. Wow, that fucking sucks. That's really fucked up.
horrible conditions. But as bad as a native population has been treated through the years, this is the absolute worst reservation in the country. The poverty is astonishing, and kind of like you have the painkiller problem in the Appalachia region, you have an alcoholism problem on the reservation. And of course, people make the jokes about the drunk Indian kind of stuff, but it really is sad. I mean, you see people just staggering around, people just passed out in front of a building, and you drive through some of these towns, and it's like, is this a movie set? Is this really what this place is like? And it isn't all entirely like that, but most of it is, and the better parts of the reservation would still be extremely poor for most of the country. And the last two that I'm going to mention are on this list because of how strange they are. I don't mean strange in a good way, like Santa Cruz, California, Burlington, Vermont, or Key West, Florida.
Oh, shit, Key West, let's go.
The first are the twin cities of Hilldale, Utah, and Colorado City, Arizona. This is basically one town that straddles the state line, and this is the area that's well known for being the home of the fundamentalist wing of the Mormon Church.
So we passed by here on our way up to Arizona one time.
The best word I can think of to describe these two towns is creepy, and I've been there a few times. The first time was about 15 years ago or so, before the cult leader Warren Jeffs was arrested. The second time was not long after he was arrested, and the third time was just a couple years ago, several years after he was arrested. So I've gotten to see how much the town has changed and how much it hasn't changed. It's hard to say for sure, but I would estimate about 75% of the population there are members of the FLDS church, and it's really easy to point them out because they all look the same, they all dress the same, and they all have the same hairstyle. And I'm not trying to be joking around here, but they're also kind of inbred.
Oh shit, the inbred? What?
There's such a small number of people that are part of this church, and they're only getting with each other. The gene pool just isn't that large. So a lot of people just kind of have the same facial features, and they all
Yeah,
look the same. So it's just
yeah, they do all look the same. Like they're dressed the same, yeah, true. But they all got the same chin. Like they got the same facial structure, the same jawline. Like, hold on, let's rewind back real quick. Yeah, look at this. They, mm, yeah, they all got the same eyes. That's crazy.
the third time was just a couple years ago, several years after he was arrested. So I've gotten to see how much the town has changed and how much it hasn't changed. It's hard to say for sure, but I would estimate about 75% of the population there are members of the FLDS church, and it's really easy to point them out because they all look the same.
Yeah, they do. It's the chin. They all have the same chin. I'm sorry, but they do.
They all dress the same, and they all have the same hairstyle. And I'm not trying to be joking around here, but they're also kind of inbred. There's such a small number of people that are part of this church, and they're only getting with each other. The gene pool just isn't that large. So a lot of people just kind of have the same facial
They all have the same shoes.
features, and they all look the same. So it's just, again, really creepy. But for the longest time, it wasn't just creepy, it was also scary because the city was officially a fundamentalist city. The mayor, the city council, and most frighteningly, the police
I don't even know what fundamentalist is. I need to look this up. Hold on, somebody messaged me real quick, but let me look at what a fundamentalist is. A fundamentalist.
Here's the definition of fundamentalist: a person who believes in the strict, literal interpretation of scripture in a religion.
Oh, so it's super Christians. Or, I mean, not super Christians, because super Christians has a limit. It's hyper Christians.
were all part of this cult. And there were many, many stories of people that were not members of the church being harassed by the police, arrested for no reason, evicted from their homes. And the worst story I ever heard was one where the police rounded up all the dogs of the non FLDS members and killed them en masse. And if you're a non FLDS member living there, who are you going to complain to? The police, the mayor? Obviously not. They're the problem. And the state of Utah has always said we don't condone these polygamy cults, but they've also always looked the other way because this, of course, was known to be going on for the longest time in these cities, but the state did
They all look the same.
absolutely nothing about it. And it wasn't until some young girls came out and said that Warren Jeffs raped them that the state finally had to do something about it. So he was arrested, tried, and convicted, and he's now currently in prison. But things didn't stop. He was still running the cult, still running the town from prison. I think his brother was acting as the liaison for him, and things didn't change at all for several years, even after he was arrested. In the past few years, the police have been broken up. There's a new mayor, there are real elections. But the last time I was there, it still had that kind of creepy feel to it. So I'm sure it's gotten
That's wild.
better, but it still didn't seem quite right. And a lot of the folks from the FLDS church have moved. They're starting to go to other places, trying to take over other towns. But I think things have probably certainly improved for the non-FLDS members of that town, but it is still really creepy there. And I know I said at the beginning
Yeah, kill my dog. I'm going after you, like on some fucking John Wick, but fat.
that this isn't trying to be a funny video, but this last one is kind of funny just because of how ridiculous it is. And that's Bombay Beach, California. It is a beach, but it isn't along the ocean. It's along the Salton Sea in the southeastern corner of the state, out in the middle of the desert. It's below sea level. It's the lowest community in the U.S., and it's just truly, truly awful, but also really, really strange. The Salton Sea isn't supposed to exist. It's there because of a levee that broke, and the water just kept running down and just formed this lake.
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's history behind this. Like between the 60s and the 70s, this lake actually used to be huge and shit like that. It used to actually be like a tourist spot where they had like suburban homes and stuff like that. And when the I think when the levee broke or whatnot, that's when the whole city start going down the decline. I heard about this city.
So when it first happened, it was like, oh, great, there's this oasis in the desert. We're going to form these beach resort towns, and Bombay Beach was one of them. So at one point, it was kind of a place to go to the beach, hang out, get a burger, get a few beers. But it is nothing like that anymore. But as the resort aspect of it went away, the water was getting more and more polluted. People weren't going there anymore, so people were moving out of the town. So it kind of has a ghost town feel through a lot of it. There's empty shells of buildings. There's just random cars here and there. There's furniture and appliances all over the place. There are pianos, just stuff that when people left.
We need to repurpose these homes for the homeless and stuff like that. Cause like there's a lot of places where like nobody's living at, and we could repurpose those and like refurbish and rebuild. Like I don't know why people don't want to rebuild shit for like the homeless and shit. Like this would be perfect. Well, not perfect, but like all you have to do is like build a hospital, build a couple of supermarkets or whatnot, and it will be fine. But I guess it's a deserted place. I guess.
They didn't take with them. A lot of the folks that remained took some of those old buildings, just kind of made like weird artistic stuff out of it, like turned old beams into like shapes and things, and just it's just so weird. And there's like a little stage out there where they'll do live plays, and there's like a drive-in where a bunch of old cars are facing a movie screen. It is just a incredibly weird place. So if you're driving through this part of the country, check this place out because it's just so absurd. There's nowhere else like it in the country. And it's almost like the people that live there revel in the absurdity. They love it. This isn't the same as these poverty
The hills
stricken
have eyes.
areas in the other parts of the country. I mean, these are not rich people, but they want to be there. These are just really weird people on the fringe of society. And if you're on the fringe of society, there can't be many better places to go than Bombay Beach. But what about the beach itself? Is it nice? No. It is like the most awful beach you'll ever go to. It looks nice and white.
Ugh.
You walk
Oh my god.
out there and it's not sand, it's all dead fish, scales, fish bones. It's horrible. The water is so polluted that it can't even sustain any life. So these fish just wash up, and you can imagine how that smells. And as awful as it smells, there is someone that's going to love it. Your dog. I was there with my dog, and he was having a time of his life.
Aww.
His nose was up in the air. He was like, wow, these are the greatest smells ever. He
Look the little shih tzu. Oh, it's all got curly hair. It's so adorable.
loved it. But no matter how much your dog will love it, you will hate the smell. It is putrid. So those are the 8 worst places in the country. And this isn't really even an opinion. You can live in these places and be like, oh no, this place sucks. But I can say like I hate Orlando because I do, but a lot of people love Orlando. And I can say I hate Los Angeles, and I do, but a lot of people love it. These 8 places,
I knew he hate Los Angeles.
no, these places really suck, and there's really not much you can say to defend these places. They are just truly monumentally awful. One of the questions I asked myself as I was putting this video together is, if I absolutely had to live in one of these 8 places, where would I live? And that's a good question to ask yourself, and I would love to know in the comment section what you think. Where would you live if you had to live in one of these? You have to have a strong tolerance for something, so which of these places would you be most likely to tolerate?
Shit, I'm not gonna be able to tolerate that little like that little fundamentalist Connolly. No, I would have to beat up. I would have to beat somebody up if they ever touch my animals and or kids. There's gonna be fighting. It's gonna happen. Let's see. Probably one of the other urban ones, because like you can survive being like a minority there as long as you don't fuck around. Because like you're not gonna get fucked with along. You're not gonna get fucked with if you're not about that life, unless like they don't know who you are, or some weird shit, you know?
I hope you found the information in this video useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up to let me know you approve, and subscribe to this channel. I don't post that many videos, and they're usually about stuff like this: geography, road tripping, travel across the US, just interesting stuff that a lot of people on YouTube aren't really talking about. But yeah, thanks for watching. Geography King signing out.
Jeez. All right.
Hey, bro, I just ordered hog.
Wait, this is old. Hold on. I think I watched this already. Um, close window. Oh yeah, this is an old video. This is from 2 months ago. Next video.
Marvel's Black Panther was a revolutionary moment.
Black Panther was more than just a superhero movie. It was a cultural phenomenon.
It opened the door for Shang-Chi to exist. It opened the door, in my opinion, for the success of Crazy Rich Asians. It opened the door for The Woman King.
It combined a big budget and a diverse cast to become
Hold on. This is made by realistic critic or relentless critics.
Marvel's first successful movie with a black lead. Black people all over the world could finally see themselves represented on
Wait, no, but there's been movies like this, like Coming to America. You know what? People forget about the '90s happened, how much representation there was back then. Everybody ignores the '90s.
the big screen like never before. It inspired people to engage with their cultural roots, popularized the Wakanda Forever gesture. Its 2022 sequel.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this.
Yeah, I'm a badass.
All right, so which one's this one? Surviving TikTok. 2 months ago. Aaliyah's fake daughter banned from TikTok. This is all TikTok stuff. Oh, this is
So
from
have
2
you all
months
noticed
ago.
that everything kind of sucks now? And I don't mean like the general state of the world. I mean like the stuff we buy is just like a little bit worse than it was 10 years ago. And I really started thinking about this because my coworker Izzy wrote about how she had to replace a bra.
So I'm gonna do what any normal person would do, which is buy the exact same thing from the exact same place.
And then after a few weeks, it just kind of
fell apart. So this kind of started me on like this journey of
Bro, from what I've seen from bras and how strong those motherfuckers are, that's kind of weird, you know. I be seeing bras lasting more than like 10 years and shit.
like, okay, I'm hearing anecdotally from like so many people that I talk to like in my life, from coffee machines, phones, computers, sweaters.
they all tear or break or like explode way sooner than they used to. So what's going on? And is there a way to climb out from under this pile of consumer trash? So let's talk about this in the most basic of terms, starting with the design process. When a company wants to make a thing, let's say like a jacket, there are three main factors to consider. Functionality, does it work? Appearance, does it look good? And manufacturability, is it easy and fairly inexpensive to make a lot of this product? Generally, a good product will have a good blend of these three things. But in recent years, this process has been thrown off balance. Let's look at clothes, for example. In the past, if you needed a new jacket, you used to go to a tailor, get measured, choose a material, and have it made. Then, for decades, instead of going to a tailor for a jacket, we went to department stores and bought things that were mass-produced.
Yeah, like shoes and shit like that.
By the 80s and 90s, we had tons of options in stores to choose from. And now, many of us just kind of go online, click add to cart, and buy a product without ever seeing it in person.
Actually, no, she's right. Amazon done changed our ways how we do shopping and shit like that. And now since they accept groceries and pharmaceuticals and stuff, it's gonna be way much more different now.
But it's not just how we buy, it's how often we buy. And for that, we can kind of blame this man.
Ernest Elmo, yeah, incredible name. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, he wrote this paper that was like, okay, like the government should really like support this idea of planned obsolescence.
Except he didn't call it planned obsolescence. He called it consumer engineering.
Consumer
Remember that
engineering,
jacket
let's
you
go.
bought? Well, it's a new season and it's out of style. Buttons are out, zippers are in. So you buy something new, but not because there was anything physically wrong with the original.
That's why it's called consumer engineering, right? Like it's up here in the brain.
And we've been living this way for decades, so now we all want the next best thing all the time. And that demand has spun out of control. Today, we are surrounded.
The speed of
Yeah, we are surrounded. Oh wow, TikTok, a spot I was talking about a cool minute ago. Let's go.
certain trend cycles, and the fact that they're geared towards like these micro communities, like Stanley cups, when like maybe a year ago it was like hydro flasks.
The result is that we buy a lot. A survey done in 2021 found that nearly 40% of UK consumers buy clothing as often as once a month. The UN reports that between the year 2000 and 2014, the average person was buying 60% more clothing, and each item was only kept half as long. So we want to buy a lot of stuff fast, and because we replace our stuff so often, we don't really want to spend a lot of money on it. which has an effect too.
People aren't willing to pay more for something they have purchased a while ago. So like if I paid $30 for a bra 10 years ago, it would be really hard for me to buy it at $50.
Yeah.
Even though in the last 10 years,
No, she's 100% right. Like, let's say, like, consoles, for instance. The next best console keeps on going up by $200 each fucking year. I find it, no, $100 each every year. It's just weird because, like, the PS2 was 200 to $250, right? The PS3 was $350, right? And then the PS4 was 400 to 450, and then the fucking PS5 is like $500, $600, bro. That's a lot.
labor costs have risen.
So what we're left with is an incredibly fast cycle of demand for low-cost products. And here's what that looks like. In order to speed up manufacturing, companies have to either hire more people, alter how the product is made, or both. But they also have to keep prices low enough for consumers to keep buying. So they may start swapping materials, like cotton or silk, for a cheaper synthetic material. Or rely on a more basic stitching pattern that maybe just doesn't hold as well. So if after 10 years, you're still paying the same price, or close to the same price, for a product that looks the same, well, something had to change. So you might say, okay, Kim, fashion trends are moving too fast and we buy too much stuff. I get it, but why does my washing machine suck? And that's a great question.
Hey, yo, why does washing machine suck?
Let's talk about technology. When things like computers first became part of our daily lives, it made a lot of sense to upgrade devices pretty often.
There was actually very big differences in what a device did that's 2 years old versus one that was brand new in the market. There was just big leaps.
This is Gay Gordon Byrne. She directs a consumer advocacy group called the Repair Association.
You know, if you had a 2-year-old thing, you probably couldn't do half the cool stuff that the other guy could do. So that kind of fueled the replacement cycle because you really did get something better in terms of functionality.
For example,
I love how the background of this was a PC setup.
Subsequent
That was pretty
phones
cool.
up to a point responded to major technological leaps. Like, look at the difference between the 3GS and the 4. The iPhone 4 had a way better resolution and a front-facing camera. For a while, these major leaps between models was the norm for technology. But we're not making those giant changes as often anymore. Instead, partly to make us want to buy more things, companies make very minor adjustments year after year. So the dryer you own may now play a fun little song at the end of the cycle instead of screaming. And now, as devices advanced and got increasingly complicated, there was another problem for consumers.
All these things started to come into the world. They didn't come in with repair tools. They came in to be thrown away.
Basically, when this stuff breaks, it's often intentionally impossible to repair.
Because if you buy something that has a computer chip in it or a circuit board or whatever, you probably can't make one in your garage. So you're very reliant on what the manufacturer will agree.
Yeah, it's like that with like PCs and shit like that. Like you have to have the next best thing, or you have to spend like 300,000. You have to spend like $300,000 on like the top rig and shit like that, which is honestly just a number that I made up. But you know what I mean. You have to spend like top dollar to get the top shit, and you're not even sure it's gonna work all the way. And that's the scary part when you build something and all the parts don't work.
To sell. And very often they don't agree to sell parts and tools and diagnostics or even give you a diagram.
But sometimes it really just is impossible to fix because they cut corners just like in fashion, replacing metal and screws with plastic and glue. And these kind of issues apply across the board in technology, from your phone to toasters to blenders to electric wheelchairs to your car.
If you walk around your house or your apartment and you start cataloging how many things you own that have chips in them, I think you'd be really surprised how big that lack of repair problem actually is.
Only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, the microwave and the refrigerator. Yeah, I think that's it. Only got like 8 items. Damn, that's a lot. Cause I don't use my blender at all. But that has a motor though. I don't think that applies to anything with a chip in it.
I want people to feel hopeful. Yes, this is something that's like out of our control in some ways and not out of our control in others. I don't want you to feel guilty for like partaking in this system when like so many people, we've been kind of brought up culturally to think in this way or to buy in this way.
Compared to other things that suck in the world, we actually have a surprising amount of control over this situation. With tech,
Yeah, we can pay with
fighting
our
for the right
wallets.
to repair is actually extremely effective. New York State just passed a right to repair bill in 2022, and it's not perfect, but at least it's something. With fashion, stay away from microtrends and fast fashion as often as you can. Buy with intention and learn to take care of the things you do have.
Think of like your objects as having maintenance. Read those care labels.
As consumers, it's gonna take a little bit for us to sift through all the trash
No, throw the whole thing in there and warm. There you go.
and retrain our brains a bit. But we can't
Degrade your clothes. Consume and buy more.
take small steps to take back control of the process. After all of this stuff is supposed to be made for us. So let's make
No, it's not made for us. It's made for them to get more money. I don't know. I haven't bought any new shoes in a while.
it clear what we want.
You know, that's why I like Vox. They always make good fucking videos. But no, they're fucking 100% right. Like, I found it weird that like places like Nintendo and some PC companies don't allow you to fucking repair your shit, especially with iPhone and stuff like that. Like, it took a long time for them to push the right to repair because Apple. You know what I think Apple does? They take the data from one phone and they put it into another phone that's refurbished and then send that to you and refurbish the other one. I think Apple really does
We
do
have
that.
a map on our repair.org website where you can go find your state, click the picture, and it'll bring up basically a letter writing widget. You type in your address and it says, tell your repair story. And if you really want to do something, that's how it gets done. We've had over 100,000 people do that, over 30,000 of them in New York. So it does not surprise me that New York was the first one to actually pass law, because that's where there was a really big groundswell of interest.
Next
Love
video.
Canal environmental disaster.
Hey, yo, let's go. We get to watch some dark stuff today.
The city built on toxic waste.
Oh, wow.
Many of us have started a project and not been able to finish it.
The city built in toxic waste. That's fucked. Oh, fuck. We about to see some fuck shit. Let's do this.
For most, this is a mere annoyance. But for the residents of Love Canal, what began as a failed ambition turned into arguably the worst environmental tragedy in the U.S. In 1890, William T. Love was struck with a brilliant idea. He wanted to develop a thriving community in Niagara Falls, New York, but he needed to find a way to generate electricity in the area. Because of the proximity to Niagara River, he formulated a plan: build a canal that connected Lake Ontario with the Niagara River by digging around the falls. After a few attempts to make his vision a reality, Love eventually ran out of funds, and all that was left of his ambition was a 60 feet wide by 3,000 feet long ditch. Despite the ditch not causing any problems, governments are not eager to let any good land just sit there. And so, in the 1920s, the area began to be used as a municipal and industrial dump site.
Oh, no!
The disposed materials were fairly innocuous, and the site continued to be used as a dumping ground for everyday trash up into the 1940s. But then, something much more sinister came into the picture. In the early 1940s, the Hooker Chemical Company purchased the Love Canal and used it as a dump site for chemical byproducts. Hooker Chemical maintained several factories that dealt with perfumes, dyes, and synthetic resins.
Oh, no!
Many of the resulting chemical byproducts were
See, this is why we need Captain Planet.
caustic and could potentially cause great harm if someone came into direct contact with them. However, factories had to keep up with demand, so Hooker kept pumping out more products.
Damn, that's wild as fuck. No, think about it. It's really wild as fuck how we treat the earth and whatnot. We can literally do this in like deserted areas and shit like that where there's not no people around to get sick and everything. Like, no, I'm dead ass serious. Like, we could dead ass go into like a desert and just do all this. Or like, we could take those abandoned places and turn those into plants and shit, you know? But not by water. Come on. Water is a necessity. And we just keep fucking it up, you know? And close to Niagara Falls? Niagara Falls? What? Fuck out of here. That's too close, man.
Which produced more and more toxic waste. Finally, after about 10 years, 19,800 tons of toxic waste had been buried just 25 feet under the ground in the Love Canal. The site was filled with chemicals only contained by the walls of their steel drum prisons. When the dump site was established, the canal had been drained and lined with clay to protect against leakage.
Okay, cool.
But, as we now know, those safety measures were far from adequate. In 1953, the Hooker Company decided they had no more use for the dumping ground, so they sealed it with more clay and sold it to the Niagara Falls School District for a price of $1.
What the fuck? For $1? No fucking way.
Perhaps in retrospect, the low selling price should have been seen as a warning.
Yeah.
Well, that and the fact that the Hooker Company made the school board sign an agreement that said it was potentially dangerous to build on the dump site and that they could not hold them accountable for any damage that might arise from the buried waste.
That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Why did y'all guys sign this letter?
It was a done deal. The school board built a school on the land and
No! Are you serious? No! Fuck, I wasn't ready for this.
promptly sold the surrounding area to a housing project. Despite a warning from the leading architect who mentioned it would be poor policy to build in the area since it was unknown how much waste product was still present in the ground, the building of the city went forward. Right away, things started to go wrong. During construction, workers broke holes in the clay lining of the canal to run sewer lines for the town. The clay lining, as a reminder, was there to protect against any chemical leaks that might escape their drums and try to make their way into the soil and water.
So were they aware of the drums? That's the thing. Like, did they dispose of the drums? Because you can't build no shit without knowing that this used to be a dump at the point. When you're digging into something, especially building like new houses and stuff like that for sewage and water transfer and stuff like that, you have to check the land to see if it's actually proper. I don't know. I'm not a landscaper. I don't know anything about this shit. I'm just trying to insert my common sense into it or whatnot. But I don't know. Maybe it's a greed issue.
And, as if the damage to the clay wasn't enough, some of the barrels themselves were damaged. While this did cause some issues during construction, such as strong chemical fumes and leakage, the city didn't
Holy shit, it's red here. That's fucking red. It's not brown or black or... that's dangerous.
seem concerned.
Holy shit.
The school building was simply relocated 85 feet north, and everyone treated it as a non-issue. The school opened its doors in 1955. By this point, 800 families had moved into the area and settled into houses adjacent to the canal. 400 children attended the school, and several other schools were built
Hold
to
on,
accommodate the growing...
guys. There's a girl in the red looks fucking adorable with those glasses on. That's so adorable. She looks like one of those stereotypical kids. Not kids, but adults that like. Okay, so let me rewind back. She looks like one of those stereotypical substitute teachers that still dress like she's from the 60s and or 50s. There we go.
Community. Love Canal was made up of hard-working middle-class families who were looking to settle down in what they thought would be a thriving community. But those dreams didn't last long. Eager to keep building, the school district sold off the remaining land and private developers built more homes. Later that year, a 25-foot area completely disintegrated, exposing several toxic chemical drums, which were filled with water during rainstorms. Puddles formed all around town, and many local children enjoyed playing in them. None of the residents were aware of what lay underneath the ground, but it was hard to miss the
Oh no!
chemical burns that covered the hands and faces of their children after they had been playing outside. Not only had the weather exposed and distributed the chemicals, but remember that the city of Niagara Falls had broken holes in the clay layer when constructing the sewer lines for Love Canal. They disrupted the layer that was supposed to protect the community, but also removed some of the clay to use as filler on the nearby 93rd Street School. Because of this, rainwater was able to push chemicals through the gaps without resistance, and toxins began to infiltrate the community. The water table level of Love Canal frequently yo-yoed, and chemicals in the soil were able to combine with the water to create what's known as leachate, which began to make its way directly into people's homes. Residents came home to find toxic pools in their basements. Plants and flowers in gardens lining the streets began to rot and die.
Oh, that sucks, man. Come on. How stupid has how? Oh my God. How dumb can we be as Americans to do this kind of stupid shit?
If there was visible water, it was contaminated with chemicals. You could even see steel drums poking out of the earth in some areas. The air smelled rotten, with a distinct chemical smell. The visuals were bad enough, but it was about to get worse. As the years passed, Love Canal residents began to experience health problems, and many children were born with health defects. But at the time, the environmental and health consequences of waste chemicals were not well known. During the early 1970s, there were many cases of exposed drums and leaking chemicals in Love Canal, but the Niagara County Health Department simply ordered leaks to be covered with soil. Unsurprisingly, that action was not effective.
Cover with soil. Fuck out of here.
However, Love Canal was yet to be exposed to the world, as many other environmental disasters were just beginning to gain international traction.
Yeah. Fuck you, Richard Nixon.
In 1976, an investigator hired by the city noted toxic chemical residues in the air and in the sump pumps of homes at the canal's southern end. However, the city's only response was to place window fans in homes with some of the highest chemical residue levels. It wasn't until the fall of 1976 that the leaks were even mentioned in any news publication, and health departments were slow to get any chemical testing done. However, once the initial testing was complete, people's fears were confirmed. Several chemicals found at the site, including benzene and chloroform, can cause severe conditions, including leukemia. In 1977, Love Canal experienced heavy snowfall, which raised the water table level. As a result, more contaminants mixed with the groundwater. And finally, the State Departments of Health and Environmental Conservation began studying the air, soil, and water. The following year, they began to run blood tests on residents. 97% of residents had traces of 1,2,4-trichlorobenzene
Oh no!
in their blood. Benzene affects the cells in the human body, causing cancer and making it difficult for your body to mount any kind of immune defense. Traces of several other chemicals were also found in the samples. These chemicals, often used in agriculture, are carcinogenic and can cause liver and kidney problems, headaches, and blood disorders. In July of 1978,
It's I hate this. It's taking them so long.
the health department announced that 81 different chemicals were polluting the homes in Love Canal. It was discovered that 200 tons of 2,4,5-trichlorophenol, which is used as a fungicide
Dude, I should stop watching this. Just make me so fucking mad right now.
and pesticide, were buried. It is a compound related to dioxin, responsible for many diseases, including significant reproductive and developmental problems. A medical survey soon found that 7 out of 10 homes in Love Canal showed evidence of chemical leakage, and 75% of residents had increased health risks. Several of the residents had already fallen sick with serious illnesses, and an alarmingly high rate of babies in the community were born with birth defects.
I love how the child's making a face.
During this time, the miscarriage rate in Love Canal went up by 300%.
Yikes.
The women who lived closest to the dump site were at the greatest risk of having miscarriages. If a pregnancy made it to term, the rates of crib deaths were also high. The children who lived had various health conditions, such as webbed feet, 3 rows of teeth, deafness, and damaged kidneys or lungs. It was also found that most children born in Love Canal had lower birth weights and more health and developmental issues than children born elsewhere. In August, the state health commissioner declared a state of emergency.
Why don't people just? I would say why don't people just move? But like, I guess back in these days, you didn't have a. Or even right now, you don't even have a choice to move. Oh yeah, it's like the early '80s. So like, yeah.
Love Canal. An evacuation order was made for the families in
Hey!
the first 2 rings of houses near the canal. On August 7, President Jimmy Carter declared Love Canal to be in a national state of emergency. Shortly after, New York Governor Hugh L. Carey visited the community and announced the evacuation of the 239 families living closest to the canal. In October 1978, work began on a chemical drainage system, but residents were angry. Calls grew to evacuate the entire community. On December 11, picketers arrived at the worksite demanding answers and safety. Their leader was a young mother and Love Canal resident named Lois Gibbs. Gibbs and other protesters were briefly arrested before having all charges dropped. This began several years
Yo, why does it like the Ohio situation? I gotta check up on Ohio, see if they're still good.
of activism for Love Canal residents. For many years, the government and the Hooker Chemical Company downplayed the severity of the situation, while residents grew increasingly desperate. Everyone but the families closest to the dump site had to continue living in homes filled with noxious substances. In February of 1979, the evacuation radius was increased to 6 blocks. Meanwhile, the other residents were still stuck with severe medical conditions in their homes. None of them could afford to move without financial support, as all of their homes had become worthless. In May of 1980,
Yeah, that sucks. That really just fucking sucks. Like, think about it, man. You're trying to move and shit because of this whole thing, and now your house, and you can't even sell your house. Yeah.
the
And the government is definitely gonna reimburse you for this shit. That's the fucked up part.
Environmental Protection Agency produced a study that showed that Love Canal residents may have chromosome damage due to the chemicals. Although the study was eventually refuted, it renewed anger in residents. On May 19th, residents held 2 Environmental Protection Agency officials hostage in the Love Canal Homeowners Associate office and demanded the entire population of Love Canal be evacuated. Finally, President Carter declared a second state of federal emergency at Love Canal and ordered the evacuation of all 728 families in the 50-block radius of the canal. Eventually, President Carter signed a $20 million state federal aid package for Love Canal.
Holy shit.
The government agreed to purchase 550 homes and all but 76 sold. Over the next few years, the government destroyed all 227 homes closest to the canal. In 1982, the concentration of dioxin in the canal was 100,000 times stronger than the level where it begins to be toxic in animals. Over the following years, cleanup efforts continued. An Occidental Chemical Corporation, the company that purchased the Hooker Company, eventually settled with the residents in 1984. They offered a $20 million lump sum payment along with a $1 million medical trust fund. Love Canal was a horrific eye-opener to the dangers involved in chemical disposal and the impact that improper use and dumping can have on humans and the surrounding environment. In a tiny silver lining,
The fucked up part is it feels like a lot of it was just ignored over the 10 years. Like, a lot of, like, the signs and shit was just dead-ass ignored, and it took them way too long. A whole generation is now affected by this shit.
largely due to Love Canal, the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation and Liability Act of 1980 was signed into federal law. Known as the Superfund Act, it is run by the EPA to investigate and clean up sites that have been contaminated with hazardous substances. Today, there are 40,000 of those sites around the country. Love Canal was the first site to receive funding. The cleanup process took 21 years and cost $400 million. Today, Love Canal has a fenced 70-acre site that includes the original waste site with a 40-acre cap, a barrier drainage system, and a leachate collection and treatment system. In addition, there are more than 150 monitoring wells in the surrounding
They're still cleaning it up? God damn.
area that are inspected frequently. It was found that Occidental did not break any laws when disposing of their chemical waste. However, they were still held accountable due to the retroactive liability provision in the Superfund Act. In 1994, Occidental Chemical Corporation and Occidental Petroleum agreed to a $98 million settlement with New York State for cleanup costs. A year later, the APA sued Occidental Petroleum. The company agreed to pay $129 million in restitution. Lois Gibbs, the leading Love Canal activist, went on to found a nonprofit that supports local activists in environmental work. Several houses in the outer rings of Love Canal were deemed fit for habitation, and new homes were built in the area. Along with the remaining 76, the new residents continued with their lives. Today, many of them are suffering from inexplicable health problems. If you found this video interesting, now is the time to like and comment.
Yeah, this is a good video about dark history. Holy shit, man. Like, imagine, to 10 whole years, your kids and your family members are getting, like, sick, and they won't do anything shit about it until, like, later on. That's kind of fucked. And the reimbursement, that sucks. All right, next video. Hey,
See, I
look,
want to
it's
make it
this
to heaven.
guy. Hey,
I
yo.
try my best to tell the truth. People don't like my style, how I talk, my delivery, but you ain't catching me in half truth and lies. Not running no municipal government.
Is this guy like epic as fuck?
Why when it get to me, we wasting time? But all these folks who put the appeal ain't wasting time. That's my point. Quit singling me out as a time waster. Single some of these folks out for once in y'all life as time wasters.
They ain't having none of this dude. This dude on his phone. She's like, I'm tired of this shit. She's not trying to laugh. And shit, I think she's talking to him, I guess. And he's trying to talk to him, but he's getting ignored. He's having the time of his life.
It ain't funny to me, Griggs. It ain't funny to me, Gary. I sit here quietly. And the minute I start talking, here go that old stereotype, time-wasting stereotype. Who does that repeatedly? Who wants to live in a stereotype shell? Black's lazy. First ward councilman wasting time. He's irrelevant. Don't y'all get it?
Hey, yo. Sorry, I was in a quick hydrate. Excuse me.
We went through this with Carrie and Jackie Poplar and them putting a hand up in my face. I'm not going to, every time I speak, be belittled when I'm making points by this council. Don't y'all get it? The time wasted was with her when she appealed it. And I'm telling you, when she sees she losing, I want to withdraw it. You done wasted time. Tell her. Quit picking at me about the great waster of time. I'm here to do business.
Mr. Mays, you interrupted me.
No,
Stop talking. Just stop talking.
Don't
Now
tell
we
me to
are.
stop talking.
Yes,
now
we
you're
are.
going overboard. Who the hell you think you talking?
And this is why Flint in the situation it is right now with her water shit. I think Flint. Hold on. Let's do a checkup on Flint real quick. Let's see. Their water issue. So what was needed? Da 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 da. Boil filter water advisory is now lifted for the Flint at 10 a.m. Oh, it was this year before Valentine's Day. Following consecutive 24 hours testing rounds, the mandated sampling was conducted at 10 sites throughout the city of Flint, and the results were negative. Oh, that's good. All right, so da 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 water main breaks update. Da 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 da. Residents should flush their plumbing. The following guidance is linked: how to flush, how to clean. Residents should clean their faucet. How do you pronounce that? Eighth. What? Search. I've never seen this word before. No, I'm not going to use my mic.
Aeration.
Aeration? That's how you spell aeration?
Aeration.
Oh my god. It's spelled Aeration. I've never used or that word ever. I heard it before, but
Councilwoman Gallo, Mr. Mays.
Point of order.
What is your point of
You
order?
don't talk to me any way you want.
damn, he just angry.
If you
Now,
don't
my
need, I
point
will.
was if you were done, it's time to
I'm
vote.
done.
Who the hell you think you talking to?
Councilwoman Galloway talking
You want to show out? I'm going to show out
Bro, this dude is like an argue. Let's go.
with you. Don't tell me to shut up. You shut up.
I didn't say
You better,
shut
well,
up.
whatever you said, it wasn't proper.
What's your point of order?
If you want to be out of line, I'm going to get out of line with you and Kate Fields. I ain't studying.
I'm not violation.
You better talk to me like you got
This is why they need like a whole podium. I think in Compton they have like this whole podium shit where like not a podium but This whole state, not like a table like this, but it's a whole like fucking. Oh no, it's on the other side of this. They're inside. Okay, okay, okay. So this must be just a community meeting between them. It's not public. Cause it's gonna be outside. Cause you can see it back here where the stage usually be at and stuff like. Cause it'd be easy to cut off his mic, honestly.
Some doggone sense.
Mr. Mays,
Yes, ma'am.
we're done.
You want to be respected, you better respect me when you talk. I ain't
you are
studying your
absolutely
petty
right.
rules. Well,
You are
thank
absolutely
you. Now
right.
get on track and talk to me like you got some sense when I say point of order. Anything else?
Damn, he's going hard.
I said don't fuck
Hold
with.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Don't fuck with.
We're gonna go east side on that ass.
Hey, the cop got him quick.
You finna get out of here. I want him out of here.
Councilman Mays, you ain't supposed to be arguing with him. You're not supposed to be arguing with him.
That cop got him real quick.
Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf.
Nah, he disrespectful too. Hold on, let's see why not. This dude, what said? What you say to me, motherfucker? Let's go.
I said don't fuck
Hold
with.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Hey yo, hey yo. I want to know what started him saying that.
Fuck with.
We're gonna go east side on that ass.
You finna get out of here. I want him out of here.
Councilman Mays, you ain't supposed to be arguing with him. You're not supposed to be arguing with him.
Yeah, let that go ahead. Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf. Mr. Metcalf. Let him stay, Mr. President.
No, not now, brother.
Well, then go.
I'm gonna
But
go.
you ain't gonna mess with me.
Hey,
Bye. You want to hear it again? You not
no,
bad.
all right, Councilman, you're gonna be going with him. Yeah. Proceed.
You can hear it again.
Hey yo, at least he has common sense to sit his black ass back down. He got up like he's trying to fight.
Perform right now. Yeah, well, I will perform. They need you to perform. They not gonna perform in here.
Oh.
I ain't studying it.
No.
I'm trying to be nice to him. We have a white person breaking the quorum on purpose. I'm gonna talk black, white. I'm gonna talk like Gleason was talking black, and Miss Galloway. You ain't gonna let them mess up these meetings and then leave with their cronies. And I'm telling you, I done backed you, but it's gonna stop when you let them mess up our meetings.
Damn, this dude clear up the whole room.
And we got police here, and they making a shamble and pissing me off. You back me. You don't back them people interrupting this meeting. Get their asses out. I'm just telling you. All bets is off when you back the public. I'm not running for nothing. I'm not trying to be nothing. And I'm telling you, I ain't recalling nobody kissing butt like Woods and them.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Flint, councilman Eric May sentenced to probation. What did he do? Damn, he got a good ass haircut though. Flint, Michigan. Flint, councilman Eric Mays will spend 6 months on probation, but no jail time for disorderly conduct. Hey yo! This dude, conviction, and the judge who sentenced him on Tuesday, April 25th. When was this article made? Oh, this year. Oh, this is made 4 days ago. Let's go. Black King going strong here, not giving people no shits, bro. Oh, he did this in front of a judge. That means he don't give no fucks. All right, let's continue reading. Here we go. I'm gonna close this out real quick. I'm gonna pop this open. Then we're gonna go here. There we go.
What the judge decided and what the prosecutor said.
The judge pretty much got it right. The judge knew that I had the right to sit in my seat. I had the right to return to my seat. She knows, and the court knows, that the counsel was wrong. The majority of them. The officer Metcalf was wrong based upon our rules. This case was about being excused to leave my seat, and under the rules, returning to my duly elected seat. We'll make a decision if we appeal.
He must be doing something right though to still be on the council. Because if this was any other person, they would have booted him off so. They would have booted them off so hard. He must be doing something right.
But based upon the sentence of 6 months probation, a fine, no jail time under the circumstances, the judge got it right.
Damn, man. All right, let's go back to here. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna switch to a different video though. Uh oh. We're gonna watch something from damn, what is his name again? Wavy Web Surf. Let's do this shit.
Let's talk about e-girls. What began as an aesthetic created by female Tumblr users has evolved
Yikes, we gotta learn about e-girls.
into an entire industry. The e-girl space, consisting of YouTubers, Twitch streamers, TikTokers, and more, in what I like to call the e-girl industrial complex.
Yo, he has so many lights. You don't need this many lights, my guy.
Their respective channels and platforms said to be a safe space where people can engage with others online, which makes it all the more shocking when one of these supposedly wholesome creators gets involved in criminal activity. From a cosplay content creator killing her.
Oh shit, are we gonna talk about Bella Delphine? Because if so, I'm all for that. Not a Bella Delphine fan. It's just like she had a lot of drama, and I was following that shit. Because when she was trolling, that shit was awesome. Until she actually made an OnlyFans, that shit was gross.
These are the criminally accused e-girls.
Hey, wait, I know I've seen this girl before. Hold on, not her. Hold on. This one. Where has she been? Like I've seen her before. Where do I recognize her from? Not in real life, but on like the internet somewhere. You're probably going to be explained here, but like, yeah.
Ranged YouTuber turned attempted mass shooter.
She was an attempted mass shooter. I didn't know about that.
Today's video is sponsored by Keeps, and to begin the ad, let's look at my hair from videos back in 2020. Yeah, your boy was losing hair and losing it fast. I didn't feel like going bald, so I decided to get hair loss treatments through Keeps, and the results have been pretty insane. Here's me at 6 months after starting Keeps, a year after starting, 2 years after starting, and then there's me right now, over 2 years later, and your boy is looking pretty.
I don't see any difference.
Friend. This is the story of Courtney Clenny. Courtney Clenny was born in Midland, Texas on April 21st of 1996.
Oh, look at the doggo.
The girl was said to have had a relatively normal upbringing. She was popular in school and participated in sports like volleyball, soccer, and gymnastics. Courtney eventually found herself becoming enthralled with the Instagram modeling world, or the prospects of being an influencer.
Mic off. Mic on.
Sorry. Shit, I'm still coughing. Jesus Christ. Whoo, shit. I wonder what did she do?
While following these accounts, she started noticing the business aspects of Instagram and the
the business part.
promotions that models would post to their pages. Seeing this as a compelling method of making money compared to traditional means, she decides to go for it and makes her own modeling page on Instagram. Courtney delved into the modeling world of Instagram at the age of 18 and found immediate success on the platform. After posting for
Jesus Christ, the thirst trap.
just a handful of months, she gained over 30,000 followers. The popularity
Jesus Christ, the thirst trap.
of her page got the attention of Playboy, and the company
I love how the duck is like, oh my god, look at this. Oh, oh. Look at the duck. This is done on purpose.
would frequently repost post Courtney's photos on Instagram. With her
Jesus.
Instagram metrics rising,
The
she
thirst
decides
traps.
to go all in on this modeling career
Whew,
and moves
shit.
to Los Angeles. And the move apparently paid off, with Courtney being featured in a high-profile G-Eazy music video.
Because that's all it takes, just a music video. Because that's what all the girls want to do. Be on music videos and shit.
Promotional deals came in, and she was making some good money. Courtney would eventually extend her modeling prospects over to the newly burgeoning site of OnlyFans.
Oh, God.
And it's there where she made the big bucks. Leveraging her nearly 2 million followers on Instagram, Courtney managed to rake in $1.8 million in 2021 from her own.
I'm so upset. I'm doing this all wrong. Maybe I shouldn't go into the only model business. OnlyFans models business.
OnlyFans content. Needless to say, the woman was in the midst of an incredibly successful career. But unfortunately, what we find is that while Courtney's status as an influencer rose, so did her instability. Which
Oh, she became crazy? She lost her mind? Word?
brings us to her boyfriend, Christian.
No, her boyfriend.
In November of 2020,
Oh, he's black.
Courtney began a relationship with a man named Christian Toby Obumseli. Christian was said
She's a queen of spades. I see.
to have been an amateur day trader of cryptocurrency and
Of course it's crypto. Why? Why is it stocks and crypto? Come on, my guy. Come on, man. Come on, King.
While their relationship would begin amicably, things start falling apart in the long run. In July of 2021, Clinty was arrested on suspicion of domestic battery against Christian in Las Vegas, Nevada. Apparently, the two had gotten in an altercation, resulting in Courtney throwing various objects at him, including glass.
The investigation showed that you threw a glass at him, and that in these state is considered battery.
Damn, she even dressed like a thirst trap. Let's go.
You guys are in a relationship. She threw a glass at you. The glass is there. She admitted throwing the glass. When that happens,
Hey, at least he did the correct thing, because usually black people don't call the cops or whatnot, because like usually when cops are called, usually black men get shot, especially in the hood. But this looks like this is that hotel or whatnot, so they called the cops there or whatnot. And yeah, he did the right thing, you know.
I have to make an arrest. I can't help.
That's no joke. I've seen cops be called on black men on a domestic dispute that the woman has started, and then the guy ends up getting arrested, even though she was beating on him.
Let me finish. The state takes over. Okay? I'm gonna explain to you how it works so we can get her out. Okay?
However, the district attorney would drop these charges the following month. Despite the concerning quarrel, the two stuck together and actually
Oh, that's
moved to
toxic.
Miami,
Oh
Florida.
fuck. Oh fuck, that's toxic. Look, if you get inside, and this goes for both. I mean, not both. This goes for all genders. If you get inside a relationship and the person is toxic, willing to fight you, bro, get out that relationship as soon as possible. I don't give a fuck how good the pussy, dick, or ass is. I don't give a fuck. Get out of there.
And it's here where more problems would emerge.
Like you don't want to have hands put on you, just like they don't want hands put on them. So like, if they end up being toxic like that, just leave the fucking relationship. Don't be like, oh, I love him and shit like that. No, they're putting hands on you. The fuck do you mean?
In Miami,
I understand, like, some people who are battered still have that psychological thing is not, if they leave they're going to even get more hurt or whatnot. That's that's not the case sometimes. It's usually the case a lot of times where like the significant other doesn't want to leave because they still have feelings for them and they think they could change, which is truly possible. Sometimes mistakes fucking happen, and if the person's trying to get help and stuff like that and trying to be a better person, then go for it. But is that the first fight or flight, or is that argument they want to try to fight you, want to try to put hands on you, want to try to hurt you physically? Get the fuck out of there, you know? And if you're a person who's short-tempered and would go on that physical route, don't do it. Just leave. Just leave. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Go outside. Lock yourself in the car. Don't don't go in a relationship with violence, especially physical violence. Please chill. And that's my PSA.
Florida, Courtney and Christian lived at the One Paraso Residences, a luxury apartment building in the city. The OnlyFans model used her significant wealth to get one of the best views in the complex, a 3-bedroom unit on the 22nd floor with a breathtaking view of Biscayne Bay. But despite living in the lap of luxury, the two still found reason to fight. Around this time, neighbors reportedly stated that the couple's relationship was extremely combative. The building manager even documented multiple incidents of loud arguments coming from the room. Some neighbors even recorded footage of the two arguing. And more documented arguments between the two just kept surfacing. A fight between Courtney and Christian would be recorded arguments coming from the room. Some neighbors even recorded footage of the two arguing. And more documented arguments between the two just kept surfacing. A fight between Courtney and Christian would be recorded on February
Oh, she's hitting him. Oh, she's hitting him. Oh shit, she's starting it.
This CCTV camera showcases Courtney slapping Christian around. Another recording.
Damn, dude, I can't. Like, you know what? Let's go.
Discovered later on
I just can't, you know.
Displays the true emotional instability and abuse going on in this relationship.
Yes, yes, thank you. Coming from get off of me! You literally talked to her without telling me. Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a.
In the midst of these heated altercations, Obumseli would send a concerning text message to Courtney that read, quote, "Is love going to kill me?" Also adding, February.
Oh no! Dude was like, "Is love's gonna kill me?" That means he really did love her. Fuck.
Was the worst month I had so far. I got cheated on. I got called that word again. I got.
Oh damn! And she got caught a hard R. I mean, he got caught a hard R. Let's go.
Slapped in my stitches that has reopened multiple times and it's not healing fast.
You know what's fucked up? When a woman is an abuser, nobody really talks about that. Nobody really talks about how men could easily get abused by a woman, especially men who are capable of doing that abuse right back. Nobody, like, men who are not able to, like, defend themselves, especially from their significant other, that shit sucks. That shit really sucks. And nobody talks about that, you know? Nobody really do talk about that. But people want to put it on the man and shit like that, as if it's the man in the situation's fault or whatnot. Even though the woman's literally attacking him, it shows evidence that she's the aggressor or whatnot. But there are women out there who like fucking be like, yeah, women can't do no wrong. I'm not saying like all women are abusers or whatnot, just a certain toxic few, and that's who I'm talking about.
Sometime after these messages were sent, an argument broke out that resulted in Christian being kicked out of the apartment by Courtney. The two would take a break from each other.
Okay, cool.
His mom would travel to Miami to stay with her for a short period. Christian was left to fend for himself. However, with time, the two cool off. Courtney and Christian would reconcile their differences in the short term.
Oh no. No, let's just keep watching.
And Christian would move back in after Courtney's mother left. But unfortunately, as things typically go in these dysfunctional romantic relationships, this peace was short-lived. Arguments between the two began almost immediately. Around this time, a dispute would break out between the couple.
Man, hold on, let me rewind that.
In these dysfunctional romantic relationships, this peace was short-lived. Arguments between the
I know this is acting, but he definitely going through it.
Two began almost immediately. Around this time, a dispute would break out.
He definitely going through it.
Between the couple that ended with Courtney calling police and requesting a restraining order against Christian.
And I want him. Okay, the police are here. I want a restraining order against Christian Gonzalez. Christian, please, just like don't get me kicked out of my own apartment. We just want him to get him. We just don't want him. I'm scared. I'm scared of him.
With this in mind, you might imagine Christian to be the real threat in this story. But the events that follow this incident draw that notion into question.
Oh, what?
Which brings us to the twisted series of events that allegedly took place on April 3rd of 2022. On this day, security footage showed that Christian left the apartment building at 1:15 p.m. and returned at 4:32 p.m. with sandwiches from Subway. Courtney had been wrapping up an Instagram live stream as her boyfriend arrived back into the apartment. In the live stream, she talked about her summer plans and how she was going to work on, quote, building her butt back up.
Summer plans are. So I've been.
Wow, she's thirst trapping.
My booty is.
She's thirst trapping. Look at this.
Okay, is gone. My butt just like disappeared. So Summer plans, building my butt back up so that I can be myself again.
She also said she was blessed. Shortly after Christian arrived, neighbors began calling security to report a disturbance from their room. Security guards called the police at 4:46 p.m. In that time frame, Courtney Clenny would make 2 phone calls, one to her mother and then another to 911.
Oh no. Oh, did she kill him? No, that's fucked up.
And after. In the 911 call, Christian Obumseli can be heard saying, quote, "I don't feel my arm," while Courtney screams, "I'm so sorry."
My boyfriend is dying of a stab. Ma'am, what is the address? Is he has a stab wound to his shoulder? Can you sit down? What do you mean he has a stab wound on his shoulder, ma'am? Yeah, and he's bleeding from his
Oh damn, that's dysfunctional, bro. She's crying.
3101. I can't feel my arm. Baby, I'm so sorry.
The man had been stabbed just inches above a tattoo of Courtney's name that was on the left side of his chest.
Oh fuck. Jeez. Yikes.
When police arrived, the OnlyFans model maintained that she acted in self-defense, telling police that the two had an argument, resulting in Christian grabbing her by her throat and shoving her against the wall. According to Courtney, she then grabbed a knife in an effort to defend herself. After procuring this knife, she claims she threw it across the room and it landed in Christian's chest.
Okay, so hold on, let me run this back a little bit.
The man had been stabbed just inches above a tattoo of Courtney's name that
So this where the knife was at, in this area right here, right? Alright, let's continue.
was on the left side of his chest. When police arrived, the OnlyFans model maintained that she acted in self-defense, telling police that the two had an argument, resulting in Christian grabbing her by her throat and shoving her against the wall. According to Courtney, she then grabbed a knife in an effort to defend herself. After procuring this knife, she claims she threw it across the room and it landed in Christian's chest.
So I grab my knife.
Wait, so she said that he had her by the neck and she grabbed the knife and threw it at him. When the fuck this? Well, never mind. I'm going too much into this.
Don't come anywhere closer to me. I have absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's gonna grab either the phone or like the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. Coming at me, and I threw it.
When detectives later informed Courtney that her boyfriend had died from his injuries, she began hyperventilating and asking for a hug.
We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead. Oh my god. Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here? No.
Despite the woman not having any obvious physical injuries from this alleged self-defense situation, she was let go. The police just didn't arrest her. You're good. Go ahead. And just days after the alleged killing, Courtney was filmed comfortably hanging out at a bar with her father in Miami. At this bar, she would be confronted by patrons of the establishment. These patrons, furious that she wasn't arrested, forced her to leave. And that would be a theme echoed around the country. See, this
Yeah, no, I don't think that's her fault. I think that's the system's fault, honestly. But yeah, fuck, that sucks.
story went viral due to the high-profile nature of Courtney being a massive OnlyFans model and everything, and also the fact that she didn't get arrested when it was pretty clear something fucky was afoot. And
Yeah, it sounds fuckity. It sounds definitely fuckity.
investigators needed to, call this a murder case. Christian's family was infuriated by the police releasing Courtney and claimed that the authorities were giving her special treatment because she was white. The deceased man's older brother, Jeffrey Obumseli, spoke out against the matter on Instagram and wrote, "Within 24 hours following my brother's death, the detective on the
Yeah, because of the domestic violence case. Nobody gives a fuck about the man in the domestic violence case.
case
Like, a man could be suspected of cheating, get his dick cut off and tossed, into a fucking tossed into a fucking woods and never can be found again. But she won't get any jail time or sued or whatnot. Matter of fact, it'll be on the man have to pay fucking money on that. And I'm not trying to sound red pill or anything like that. It's just like there are cases where domestic violence has happened towards men, and the woman who caused the violence would fucking get off scot free and shit like that, you know?
Prematurely concluded this was not a crime.
But it's rare for a man to get abused by women. It's more common for a woman to be abused by a man due to the quote unquote patriarchy or whatever people call it nowadays on the internet.
Of violence, but the information provided is deficient, and the lack of transparency strongly suggests foul play is involved. Courtney Taylor Clinty's callous actions have not been met with an ounce of remorse. We've seen videos of Courtney kissing her dogs while covered in what we believe to be my brother's blood and casually getting drinks at a hotel bar days later while my brother lays in the morgue. Courtney is being treated differently because of her privileges as a wealthy white woman. The Obumseli family would appear on Dr. Phil and talked about
Dr. Phil? Okay, you know what? No, no, no.
Christian's death, demanding justice for Christian while pointing out perceived mistakes detectives had made in their investigation.
And she thinks that she threw a knife at him, and that knife hit his clavicle, puncturing an artery, and that's how he died. That doesn't make sense to me. Is she a professional knife thrower? How does someone throw a knife 10 to 20 feet away and that fatally stabs a person?
In the wake of the heat she was facing, Courtney would hire an attorney to represent her legally, and this attorney said that all of the backlash she was facing was outrageous. Quote, "There is competent and substantial evidence that Courtney is the victim of domestic violence. There is no doubt the two of them had a tumultuous relationship. Moreover, there is evidence that Courtney was a victim of physical, emotional, and mental abuse at the hands of Obumseli. That night was no different, and Courtney had the right to defend herself out of fear for her life." But then the medical examiner's report comes in and really draws Courtney's story into question. The examiner's report detailed that Obumseli's death was resulting from a stab wound caused by a forceful downward thrust that had fatally punctured an artery in Christian's chest. The examiner noting that such a stab wound couldn't come from Courtney throwing the knife as she indicated in her initial report. As a result of this discovery, on August 10th of 2020,
That's right. Get justice. That is a mugshot.
was arrested while in Hawaii and charged with committing second-degree murder with a deadly weapon. The woman would be extradited to Florida to face trial. During Courtney's bail hearing, one of the city prosecutors indicated that she was a flight risk due to her income level. They also claimed that Courtney had been up to some
Due to her income level? What?
financial shenanigans, apparently trying to move money around in anticipation for this trial, claiming that the woman had moved more than $1 million to her father sometime after the stabbing had occurred. With the aforementioned in mind, her bond was revoked. As of the date of recording this video, Courtney has not yet begun trial and is only in the pre-trial phase. The OnlyFans model is facing a mountain of evidence, but will remain innocent until proven guilty. But that is the ongoing story of Courtney Clinty, the alleged OnlyFans killer.
Yo, her eyebrow. I'm sorry.
Easily one of the most disturbing girl criminal stories is that of Nassim Agdam. Nassim was a YouTube content creator with a deep-seated hatred for the very platform that she produced.
Oh, fucking. Is that lady that went up to go, shoot up fucking YouTube? Whatchamacallit? If that is, I know about this story. So apparently, when the first ad apocalypse happened, when they fuck with the monetization threshold, a lot of people was disgruntled, and this one woman went up to YouTube with a fucking gun. When in the lobby started, like, it wasn't like I don't think the gun was loaded, but like she went up to fucking YouTube with a gun, YouTube headquarters with a gun. It's just wild.
Videos on. Frustrated with her lack of growth on the site, she goes to YouTube directly to enact revenge. Nassim Agdam was born April 15th of 1979 in the country of Iran. In 1996, Nassim immigrated to the United States with her family as refugees. Once in America, Nassim would eventually move to San Diego, California. And Nassim would make headlines before her YouTube venture. At the age of 29, Nassim was featured in a San Diego Tribune article that was covering a protest held by animal rights activists. One of these activists was Nassim herself. Nassim was quoted in this article as saying, "For me, animal rights equal human rights." As years passed and the popularity of YouTube grew, Nassim
You know, like they're not wrong. Peter's not wrong for like pushing more rights for animals and stuff like that. But there's got to be certain things you have to stop doing, Peter. Like euthanizing animals. Yeah, we all know that you euthanize fucking animals at your shelter. You don't even get them out to families. You say you do, but you fucking euthanize the shit out your animals. Fuck out of here, Peter. I don't know. Some of their games are lit though.
saw the platform as a compelling way to get out her message and also to entertain folks with her dances and songs, which results in Nassim creating a channel featuring quite the bizarre plethora of content. She posted many videos on a multitude of subjects. Her channel showcased her performing art, discussing veganism, exercising, dancing.
Hey, yo, she gotta be a meme. This is 2015. Damn. This is just before the fucking storm.
And more. Nassim, in her About section on YouTube, described herself as a vegan bodybuilder and animal rights activist, and an individual that promoted a healthy and humane lifestyle. While Nassim's channel wasn't very popular in the United States, she did actually find some success overseas in Iran. In fact, the woman was well known in Iranian social media circles under the username Nassim Sabs, which translates into Green Nassim. Thanks to her Iranian popularity, she garnered thousands of subscribers over numerous accounts.
It's her eyebrows. I just can't.
One of her YouTube channels had more than 11,000 subscribers and 4 million views collectively. An Instagram account created by Nassim boasted over 54,000 followers.
Ah, she's a weirdo. Let's go.
However, despite all of these viewers, followers, and subscribers, Nassim was disgruntled at the fact that
Top tier editing right there, guys.
YouTube wasn't paying her out any ad revenue. Apparently, the company deeming her videos not suitable for advertisers. Posts from the time show Nassim complaining about what she perceived as YouTube filtering and shadow banning her content.
Oh no, she wouldn't be far. She wouldn't be far from the truth, especially nowadays.
One post from the woman says, "Be aware, dictatorship exists in all countries, but with different tactics. They only care for personal short-term profits and do anything to reach their goals, even by fooling simple-minded people, hiding the truth, manipulating science and everything, putting public, mental, and physical health at risk, abusing non-human animals, polluting environment, destroying family values, promoting materialism and sexual degeneration in the name of freedom, and turning people into programmed robots.
Yikes!
Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Adolf Hitler. There is
Double yikes! You don't fucking mention. Uh, fucking quote Hitler. Stop, please stop.
no free speech in real world, and you will be suppressed for telling the truth that is not supported by the system. Videos of targeted users are filtered and merely relegated so that people can hardly see their videos. There is no equal growth opportunity on YouTube or any other video.
She's not too far from the truth, but the way she's going about it is super toxic.
Video sharing site. Your channel will grow if they want it to. YouTube filtered my channels to keep them from getting views. Another post from Nassim shows the woman venting about a video she thought was unfairly age restricted. This video got age restricted after new closed-minded YouTube employees got control of my Farsi YouTube channel last year in 2016 and began filtering my videos to reduce views and suppress and discourage me from making videos. Here she can be seen complaining about how a video with 360,000 views only netted her 10 cents in ad revenue.
Woof. I thought it went for every thousand. That's how. I thought it went for every 10,000. It's 10 cents.
Eventually, Nassim's protest against YouTube would take shape in the real world, with Nassim actually protesting in the streets against what she saw as YouTube's secret agenda to censor the internet. YouTube
She's probably funny as fuck too. This sucks. This really does fucking suck.
dictatorship, hidden policy, promotes stupidity, discrimination, and suppression of truth. Now, I'm sure many of you watching have seen a content creator or two complain about YouTube's policies. I mean, I've done it in the past myself. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist here to sort of come to the conclusion that something was off with Nassim. And future videos and posts created by Nassim would help exemplify this even further. In one video where Nassim discusses her history and experience with YouTube, she reveals that she didn't like living in America. Quote, in Iran, they kill you with an axe, but in America, they kill you with cotton, which is this
Damn, that's a strong ass quote.
essentially her referring to an
God
Iranian
damn.
expression saying that she's dying a slow death. Nassim had become so obsessed over what she thought was
Wow. She was e-girl for e-girls, guys.
YouTube conspiring to censor her that her family started taking note of her disturbed nature. And it would only be a matter of time before this deranged woman took up her
Wait, why censor them in the beginning? Wait, no. She probably censored them. That probably picture was already censored before you got it.
frustrations with YouTube directly. It all
Be right back, guys. I gotta use the bathroom. Ugh.
Mic off. Mic on.
Shit, excuse me, guys.
Begins on April 2nd of 2018 when Nassim had been reported missing by her family after not answering her phone for close to 2 days. Curiously, police would later find the woman in Mountain View, an area just 15 miles south of YouTube's offices
Damn, she was on the stroll, bro.
in San Bruno.
Hi, are you Nassim? Hey, so you reported as missing. Yeah, as missing from San Diego? Okay. You don't live with them anymore? Okay. Can I just ask, if you don't mind, why you left?
It appeared that Nassim had been living out of her car for those 48 hours. After discovering the missing woman, officers questioned her, asking the woman if she was suicidal or was on any sort of drugs. Questions to which Nassim responded no to.
Are you taking any type of medication at all? No. Are you supposed to take medication? Okay. You don't want to hurt yourself, do you? Or you don't want to hurt anybody else? You don't want to commit suicide or anything like that, right? Okay.
When police asked
Damn. Like, I didn't know you could have the cops calling you for a wellness check after 48 hours. That's crazy.
her if she had any plans on going home, she said no, and in fact stated that she ran away because she wanted to start her life anew away from her family.
Why Mountain View? I mean, I know it's a great city and everything, but
Let's go. She's been through this before. She knows how to make jokes and make the person in the car comfortable. But you gotta turn those lights off.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Okay.
Something new.
Start fresh. Okay.
Ah, very good.
Damn, the work that goes into these videos. I need to start doing like more longer form videos or whatnot, or long edit form videos.
Woman was a grown adult, there was really nothing the police could do, and they just let her go on her way. After finding and talking to Nassim, police would call the family and tell them that she didn't want to come home, and this was not the answer the family wanted to hear. They were concerned that Nassim was about to do something rash, but police said that there was nothing they could do. Nassim wanted to be on her own, and that was that. But what
Yeah,
we
she's an
find
adult.
is that police really should have taken heed of what Nassim's family had to say, because the next day she went AWOL. The day following her being investigated by police, Nassim reportedly visited a gun range and practiced shooting firearms for a number of hours. And later in the afternoon of this day, at
Damn, for hours? That's all I could take?
approximately 12:46 p.m., Nassim traveled to the nearby YouTube headquarters and entered the premises through an exterior parking garage. And she didn't come to YouTube to talk to higher-ups about monetization policy. She came to YouTube for revenge. From the garage, Nassim would walk to an outdoor patio that was filled with employees eating lunch.
Damn!
It's at this point where she pulls out a 9mm Smith & Wesson pistol and begins unloading rounds on these employees. Nassim's initial attack wounded 3 people. These individuals would be quickly escorted away to safety by
Nice B-roll.
others, and the facility was locked up in a matter of minutes, with Nassim having no way inside. And it's at this point that the woman turns the gun on herself and takes her own life. Thankfully, no one died in this attack. The victims
No, she died.
that were injured included a 36-year-old man, a 32-year-old man, and a 27-year-old woman. All would make full recoveries. Within a matter of minutes of the shooting taking place, there were police helicopters on the scene, and it was a breaking news event. President Donald Trump would issue
Fuck, I forgot this buffoon was in office. Fuck, why would you remind me?
a tweet about the situation. Was just briefed on the shooting at YouTube's HQ in San Bruno. Our thoughts and
Yeah, you know what? I don't think YouTube ever changed their policies after that. Like towards like content creators and stuff like that. I think they're still keeping the same shit. Like I love like I believe yeah, I think it was Wavy Surf. He was talking on some ordinary podcast. He was talking about how YouTube sent him a wellness email. Was that It's a Gundam? It was one of the two.
prayers are with everybody involved. Thank you to our phenomenal law enforcement officers and first responders that are currently on the scene. Google CEO Sundar Pichai would tweet this out. There are no words to describe the tragedy that occurred today. Susan Wojcicki and I are focused on supporting our employees and the YouTube community through this difficult time together. Thank you to the police and first responders for their efforts, and to all the messages of support. Susan says, there are no words to describe how horrible it was to have an active shooter at YouTube today. Our deepest gratitude to law enforcement and first responders for their rapid response. Our hearts go out to all those injured and impacted today. We will come together to heal as a family.
Family, 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 family.
The family of the deranged shooter would also speak out. Her father says, quote, our family is in absolute shock and can't make sense of what happened yesterday. Although no words can describe our deep grief for this tragedy, our family
How the fuck should they gun so quick? That's all I want to know.
would like to express
Like dead ass. It took her less than a couple of days to get a gun. She went to a dead ass shooting range. What the fuck? Come on, guys. We gotta have better gun reform. Dead ass. No, I'm dead ass serious.
their utmost regret and sorrow for what happened to innocent victims. An autopsy report for Nassim indicated that she had no drugs or alcohol in her system. It was an act committed out of pure hatred for YouTube. In the wake of this attempted murder spree, YouTube would terminate all of Nassim's channels. Her Instagram and Facebook accounts
Yeah, remove the evidence.
have also been removed since.
Oh fuck. This chick right here. Wait, she's a YouTuber? Wait, no way. No fucking way she's a YouTuber and or e-girl. What the fuck?
To begin this chapter, let's break down a Japanese word that you'll likely be hearing again throughout the rest of this video. That word being yandere. What the hell does this mean? I'm sure you've seen it before. Well, the yan in yandere comes from the Japanese verb yanderu, which means to be mentally ill or to be mentally sick. Yanderu is combined with another Japanese word, dere dere, a word meaning love struck. So the two words together, yandere, basically being a mentally sick, love-struck person. Yandere is an anime archetype where a character's love is so devoted that they become obsessed and possessive
No, so school days. What are you doing?
of their loved one to the point of behaving irrationally in an effort to hold on to their crush or love interest. Basically simping to
You gotta show school days. That's a perfect example of this.
the max, to the point where it could literally result in someone's death. Now, yandere killing someone in an anime or a video game, we've seen that before. But could something like this happen in real life?
Yes, and it did.
Well, the answer might surprise you. I'd like to introduce you all to Japanese woman Yuka Takeoka. Yuka was born January 28th of 1998 in Tokyo and was an only child. Not much is known about the woman's early life, other than that she dropped out of university, opting to pursue a career in the Japanese bar and service industry. Yuka would eventually land a lucrative management position at a hostess club in Tokyo. A Japanese hostess club is essentially a nightlife spot where all of the staff are women. This serves as a counterpart to a host club where all the staff are men. You know, naturally you got men going to the hostess club and women going to the host club for a night of fun and drinks, this, that, and the other.
Guys, remember that anime or host club? That's a perfect example of what a host club is for women. And the hostess is the same thing, but with, instead of man being the center front, is women being the center front.
It would be through this Japanese nightlife industry that Yuka would meet her boyfriend that would become the victim of this story. That individual being a man named Phoenix Luna. Luna worked at the
Phoenix Luna? Who the fuck? Oh, no, what? Stop.
Fusion by Youth nightclub, which was a host club located in the red light district. Phoenix was said to
What's its real name? His real name's not Phoenix Luna. That's a fucking, you know what? No.
have been an attractive man and was popular within the host industry, and was highly ranked amongst other hosts at various clubs. Common practice at the time was when
Oh.
hosts and hostess got off of work, they would all intermingle and just sort of go to a random club and hang out, and that's how Phoenix would meet Yuka. After initially meeting, Phoenix had sent Yuka messages on Twitter inviting her out for further meetups. In March of 2019, the
He
two
must have
went
hit
on a
it.
date to a cat cafe and watched movies together.
Aww.
Yuka was said to have been enraptured by Phoenix and spent an exuberant amount of money on him. And why was she spending all this money on Phoenix? Well, what you'll find in this story is that the relationship was somewhat one-sided. Yuka liked Phoenix a lot more than Phoenix liked Yuka. And in a desperate effort to maintain his favor, Yuka would go to Phoenix's host club as a customer and literally pay Phoenix to spend time with her. Yuka believed that if she wanted to be with Phoenix, she would have to continue her financial simping.
But is she like a e-girl? Like, well, it's showing pictures of her and stuff like that. So apparently she was.
And even picked up additional work as an escort to do so. In April of 2019, Yuka and Phoenix began a sexual relationship. This intimacy reportedly beginning after she presented Phoenix with a bottle of champagne and confessed her love to the man. To promote her lover, Yuka would continue to go to the host club and support Phoenix with the money that she spent. Phoenix was able to become one of the top hosts at the bar. She wanted to help him get the #1 spot, which allowed for extra privileges and major bonuses. She also rented out an apartment close to Phoenix in hopes that he would stay with her. On May 20th of 2019, Phoenix stayed the night with her, but to Yuka's disappointment,
Listen, to those who are anime weebs just like that, with one yandere, no. Listen to this, and listen to this well. Just because they're crazy in love with you does not mean that it's fucking safe for you to put your dick in crazy. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a fuck how good the head, the pussy, the ass is. No, don't fuck with crazy, bro, because you might end up fucking dead.
he spent most of his time uninterested and on his phone or sleeping. On May 23rd of 2019, Phoenix planned to assist Yuka with cleaning at her residence around noon, but his obligations caused a delay. Yuka called Phoenix on the phone, and his explanation for not being there was that he had made plans to meet with a female work client. This sent Yuka into a tailspin. She journaled the following around the time. Quote, I want to be a tragic heroine. How is it possible for him to look at a woman other than me? I know killing him is for the best. If I kill him, it will be eternal, and there will be no pain. I don't need anything other than you.
Holy shit! Ooh, fuck! Did she posted this online?
3 hours later, Phoenix arrived and helped her tidy up. After cleaning, the two ended up getting intimate with each other. Phoenix then takes a bath and goes to bed. Yuka, however, stayed awake and had other plans she wanted to execute. And apparently, after coming to the conclusion that Phoenix's affection for her was
She's definitely in prison.
merely surface level, Yuka's psyche essentially
Oh, wait, so I only heard the aftermath of this when people started simping for her and shit, which is horrible.
shatters. After confirming that Phoenix had fallen asleep, at around 3:50 p.m., she goes to the kitchen, procures a knife, returns to the bed, gets on top of Phoenix, and plunges the blade into his stomach. After being stabbed, Phoenix awoke, feeling uncomfortable, looked down, and noticed that he had a knife in his stomach.
I bet you like not still, not still. Let me not, because that's horrible. Fuck, man. Imagine waking up with a knife in your gut. That sucks.
He pulls it out, but Yuka was on top of him. After pulling out the knife, Phoenix was said to have fearfully looked up at Yuka and uttered the phrase, "Please, I love you," in an effort to avoid another thrust from this blade. After hearing this, Yuka seemed placated for the moment and put the blade down. After this, it said that Phoenix pushed Yuka off of him, gets to his feet, and initiates an escape of the apartment with blood dripping out of him.
Damn, he bled out?
Yuka got a hold of him, but he was able to shake loose and run out of the door into the elevator. But when the elevator had descended to the lobby, Phoenix had already lost consciousness. Officers arrived at the scene around 4 p.m. and found Phoenix with 2 stab wounds in the abdomen. The man had nothing but a pair of shorts on and was covered in blood. Yuka sat next to her wounded lover, drenched in his blood, calmly puffing away on a cigarette, her phone to her ear, and ignoring the bewildered officers. A tenant living in the building would report that the entire elevator was essentially covered wall to wall with blood. Footage would later be obtained of the officers arresting Yuka and escorting her to the police station. While in the back of the squad car, Yuka flashed a sinister grin beneath her large glasses and a photograph that would go viral online. When later questioned by authorities, Yuka said, quote, I too wanted
Damn, she's cute too. Too bad she's a horrible person.
to die. Since I loved him so much, I couldn't help it. After killing him, I wanted to die. I did not want to go anywhere, so I sat down at the outside staircase. I did not call emergency services because I intended to die after watching him die from the stabbing. Authorities allegedly also found a journal written in blood that read, I like you so much, I wanted to kill you. This bloody journal allegedly being authored by Yuka. Yuka's motive for the stabbing seems to come from a place of jealousy and despair surrounding the thought of Phoenix being in
That's some good B-roll right here. That's really good B-roll.
love with another woman. Yuka's stabbing of Phoenix fit very well into the yandere archetype, and she became a viral phenomenon online when the photos went up. People online saw her as a real-life yandere character. Instagram fan accounts began popping up, praising Yuka, some even calling her too beautiful.
And this is what I hate about the fucking internet and fucking the anime community. How y'all fucking degenerates gonna fall in love with a person you don't even fucking know? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Seriously. Stop having parasocial relationships. Dead ass.
A murderer. Some of Yuka's online fans even started a GoFundMe.
Yeah, this is the part when it hit towards the podcast or whatnot. When I heard about this shit, fucking fucking whatchamacallit. She was already getting like a GoFundMe and all this shit to get out of prison or whatnot. She did get the bail money, but I think they arrested her ass. I think she's in prison right now.
And raised close to $4,000 in an attempt to keep her out of jail. Needless to say, this didn't work. But fortunately for all involved, Phoenix actually survived the stabbing. According to reports,
Hey, yo, he's alive? I'm gonna talk shit about this dude. How the fuck you don't fuck with him out there? That's what you get for fucking with an unstable motherfucker. You knew there were fucking signs, bro, and you chose fucking violence. All this shit could have been avoided if you didn't have sex with her. I'm sorry, it's a fucked up situation, but fuck, come on, man.
Phoenix was unconscious and in critical condition for close to 5 days. But thanks to intensive medical intervention, he would
They saved his pretty ass. Ooh, shit. That brings something now. So this was like almost 7 years ago, right? So I'm thinking if she's like aware that he's still alive, you know what? In this situation, you would have to tell the woman that stabbed him up that he's dead, so she won't come after this nigga for a second time, cause you know she's gonna come after this nigga for a second time.
Would make a miraculous full recovery. Phoenix would later return to his job as a host, and what has become of him in recent years isn't publicly known. Eventually, Yuka would face trial for her attempted murder. She pled guilty, and on December 5th of 2019, the presiding
She took the guilty plea so she get less time because it's attempted murder and not murder itself. So she's probably gonna serve so close to like 5 to 14 years. But I don't know about Japanese law. I know for attempted murder is like 5 to 14 years
judge for Yuka's
in
case
America.
handed her a 3-year and 6-month sentence.
3 years?
Yuka could be possibly released as early as late 2023.
Oh
That
no!
was the case of the Yondo
Hey yo, Luna better run! Luna better fucking run! He better disappear to like the Philippines. Hey yo, the cosplay killer. Let's
Next up, the
go.
case of Melissa Turner, the cosplay killer. Melissa Turner was born November 25th of 1992. She grew up in North Carolina as well as Florida and
Of
reports
course,
say
he
she
grew
had
up
a
in Florida.
troubled childhood, claiming to have suffered abuse from a family member that left her traumatized to the point where she began to find solace in compulsive eating, leading to a struggle with childhood and teenage
Aw.
obesity. Because of this, Melissa was said to have been harassed and bullied at school. It wouldn't be until adulthood that Melissa would gain confidence and lose weight. She worked hard, losing over 100 pounds. And not only did she physically improve herself, she got educated as well, attaining an associate's degree around the time. After losing the weight, Melissa decided she wanted to chase her dreams of becoming an actress and entered many cosplaying competitions to achieve this goal. And she was popular at conventions that she attended. This cosplaying success eventually evolves into Melissa becoming an amateur model. The woman operated numerous online blogs, with these blogs reportedly featuring explicit content.
Oh, she did OnlyFans.
If you don't know who I am, if you never heard of me or anything like that before, I am Two Thorn Rose. You can call me Rose. I'm a cam model. I'm an artist. I love fitness. I've lost 100 pounds. I like making videos about that and about my art and just about my daily life.
By 2017, Melissa had found herself a hot online commodity with simps all around wanting to
Oh God, the simps.
throw money at her. In April of 2017, Melissa would meet a man named Matthew Trussler on Tinder. Matthew and Melissa
Yo, that last name, no.
found chemistry on the dating app and met in person, and it wouldn't be long before they fell in love. By 2019, the two had become engaged and were living in a 2-story, 4-bedroom home together, a home that was purchased thanks to some extra income that Melissa had been earning of late. As Melissa's popularity as a
Wait, I've seen this picture before. Holy shit. Is this what?
cosplay influencer grew, so did the woman's affinity for creating lucrative, not safe for work content. And it's been reported that Matthew assisted her in the production of said material.
You know, power couple. You know, when your girl want to make an OnlyFans and she want to be lewd with it, you know, be in a couple of videos when you dogging her shit out. You know, make those simps pay for you fucking her. You know, like I support couples who do OnlyFans. That's all I'm trying to say.
While everything described thus far sounds nice, albeit a bit of an unconventional relationship, but fine enough.
Because like, think about it. People say, "Oh, your girl really got OnlyFans, you cuck." Be like, "No, yeah, she has OnlyFans. I'm no cuck because I'm fucking her, not you. You're looking at pictures of me fucking her. So who's the cuck, you bastard?"
Behind the scenes, the couple's
But like, she's doing it behind my back. That's a different story, though.
relationship was tumultuous to say the least. It's been said that the two fought frequently, and alcohol was commonly abused by the pair, only worsening their disputes. Which brings us to the date of tragedy in this story, October 17th of 2019. And this is what happens next from the
Damn, just before COVID. Wait, September, right?
relationship was tumultuous to say the least. It's been said that the two fought frequently, and alcohol was commonly abused by the pair, only worsening their disputes. Which brings us to the date of tragedy in this story, October 17th of 2019. And this is what happens next from the perspective of Melissa. At around 11 p.m., buzzed off of shots of vodka, Melissa
Damn.
claims to have gotten tired and told Matthew that she wanted to go to sleep. She went to bed, but Matthew stays up. Melissa claims she awoke hours later and noted Matthew had yet to go to bed. She got up to see what he was doing, and it's at this point where she claims to have discovered Matthew outside on the patio covered in blood, and he wasn't breathing. She would contact the police, later telling officers that she was performing CPR.
911, what is your emergency?
I woke up on my boyfriend. He was outside this morning. He's cold. He's gone.
When authorities arrived, her fiancé was pronounced dead at the scene. The narrative of events provided by Melissa seemed to suggest that perhaps Matthew had died from alcohol poisoning or had injured himself while intoxicated. But a later autopsy performed on the man indicated that he died from a stab wound. After this discovery, authorities immediately detained Melissa and took her in for questioning. She would initially stick
God damn, she thick.
to her story of waking up to find her fiancé.
God damn, those dyes could save lives. Too bad she took a life. Fuck, man. I know I'm kind of similar, but look at those dyes. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck, bruh.
Dead, but
God damn, those dyes. Sorry, I'm a fiend for thighs.
Security camera caught audio and visual of what really
Oh no! She got caught red-handed in 420p.
took place.
What could you hear? What kind of phrases?
So I heard, get up. I heard so, and then there was an explicit die.
You heard so die?
And then I heard, it sounded like a female voice was crying, saying, what did I do?
What this footage made clear was that Matthew's death resulted from some sort of domestic dispute gone wrong, not him dying outside by himself from alcohol poisoning. When Melissa was made aware of this footage, she changed her story and tried
God damn, man, this sucks. This really just fucking sucks.
to spin it as it was a self-defense situation and she stabbed the man to save her own life. Needless to say, the cops weren't buying the excuse and she was arrested. On Valentine's Day of 2022, Melissa stood trial for the murder of her fiancé. During this trial, she would actually take the stand and described Matthew as an alcoholic who had demonstrated unsettling and abusive behaviors in the past. Quote, there were times where he would push me and punch walls beside my head. I had seen him cut himself, burn himself, stab himself. He would stare off at some corner and he would tell me that there's a demon standing right there. It's clear.
Would an autopsy show that like a person would have past burns or like lesions on his hands? Because I know if you fight a lot, you start having cuts and shit on your hand and stuff like that from the fighting and everything like that, or you're like have like calluses on your hands from fighting and everything, right? So and also blood too. Blood and DNA will be on your knuckles and everything. So guys, when you get into like street fights, make sure you're wearing some kind of gloves or some shit like that, so you don't get like blood from. And I know this is weird, but yeah when somebody gets physically abused, they check the hands for any like blood or whatnot, especially when it's like really, really bloody or whatnot. They want to see like who struck what and all that shit.
That Turner was attempting to portray herself as a battered victim and her fiancé as an abusive monster. But when the facts are presented in this case, it's clear who the monster really was. It was later determined that after stabbing her fiancé, Melissa waited close to 4 hours before calling 911. Even after being stabbed, the man's life could very likely have been saved, but her intentional delay in contacting first responders ensured that it wouldn't be. The conclusion of this trial resulted in the jury finding Melissa guilty of murder, and she was sentenced to 20 and a half years in Florida State Prison.
This jury did not believe her claims of self-defense. Nor does this court.
Yeah, she should have did it. Geese was like, so die. God damn, Geese Howard.
Melissa will be 50 years old before she's eligible for release.
Oh no.
And well, you've made it to the end.
Man, this is some sad ass videos, dude. Dude, I'm gonna feel bad for Phoenix Lunar, bro. He gotta be in hiding from this yandere, because like you know he's gonna be stalked. You know she's gonna find this nigga. Damn. All right, next video. Thanks, Wavy Web Surf. God damn.
In case you're wondering
Hey, Ricky Venti. She's rare on here. Let's go.
why I haven't been streaming, it's because I can't. YouTube has striked my account and rejected my appeal. Even though when YouTube gives you your first community strike, you can't stream, post videos, or make community posts for a week, I can now post videos and make community posts, but I cannot live stream still. I wanted to talk about how YouTube suspended my account. They had permanently suspended my entire account, couldn't access my music, couldn't upload, couldn't post, nothing. And then they reinstated it 2 hours later after everyone started complaining about it. So I went back to remove some age restrictions on some older content, and I had only removed the age restriction off of a few videos, one of which was the video on Gaorugura. In this video, I spoke out against virtual CP because I explained that having explicit imagery of children in animation form when they look, sound, and act exactly like a
So she says sexual content. Let's rewind that.
having explicit imagery of children in animation form when they look, sound, and act exactly like a child. And I explained that it's basically training your brain to sexualize children, which is very predatory. And the reason that I use Gaorugura as an example for this is because she has been retweeting explicit imagery of her character for years now, and I pointed this out back 2 years ago in this video as well. I have a problem when you take a character that is a child. Okay, the voice actress isn't a child, but the character she's playing is. It looks like a child. It sounds.
Well, did she say the child is not the child? Did Goku Naru or Goku Naru? Did Garu Naru? Did she say her characters are over 18 or whatnot? Or like, is she actually doing the lowly con shit?
Like a child, acts like a child. Basically, the character is a child, but they slap the label, oh, it's 9,000 years old, but she still does the really high-pitched voice, and then also uses imagery on her Twitter of her as a kindergartner, literally in a Japanese.
I don't want to go to that. I wanted to check to see if this is real, but now I think I'm shitting. Because I'm aware that she posted the shit. I've seen the shit like reposted by multiple people that I had to unfollow because I'm starting like to just unfollow people on horny on main. I still have a couple on horny on main, but like I don't really see their shit because of the whole YouTube shit now.
Kindergarten uniform, along with all these images that are sexualized of this child character. I also brought up some statistics and talked about Japan's culture a little bit in that video, and it was generally pretty educational. And I made 2 of these videos. The second one was to clarify my points in the first one, and that one, the second one, is the one that got my YouTube account terminated. The reasoning that YouTube.
Okay, so probably because like there are trigger words that YouTube has. I guess talking about other pedos and stuff will get you a guideline strike. I think that's what it is. Like yeah, let's just continue. Oh, it says it right here.
Gave was that I was putting children in danger. The entire point of that video was to showcase why lolicon is wrong, why it's wrong to sexualize children, characters that look, act, and sound like children, so much so that the formula is
Mic
replicated over
off.
and over. Even on streaming sites like Twitch, there's even guys doing it to make money. So basically, YouTube nuked my entire account because I showed very censored images of lolicon because I needed to demonstrate to the audience for them to understand why it was so gross and why it wasn't just petite women, how it was literal toddlers, like babies you hold in your arms, having terrible explicit things done to them.
Mic on.
So she posts toddler content. Yes, that's another dangerous genre that nobody should know about. That sucks.
And it's very commonplace. You see it all the time on sites like Pixiv, and nothing is done about it.
Hey, Pixiv! Another site that people should avoid. Like, I made a Pixiv account, but like, I have to turn off the I do follow a couple of 19 plus creators on there, but they only do grown ass people, you know. But there's a lot of There's a lot of that shit on Pixiv, and I had to like cut my shit down to like only safe for work because I'm not trying to see that shit. The first time I was on Pixiv, right, I was setting up my account and everything, right, and I was looking at the fandom stuff, and I saw some shit on the front page that kind of scared me a little bit. Now I don't know how Pixiv's reporting is. I don't know if I have to click on the thing to report or whatnot. I dead ass was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shift this to safer work, and I never saw the shit ever again. Yeah, so like, be wary of Pixiv. If you don't want to see all that content, just turn it off or whatnot because it's seen as art on there, and it's not really art. It's really gross. Anyway, let's go. I didn't think she would throw out Pixiv out there like that.
So YouTube has taken the stance that lolicon is wrong, essentially. So all the people who are cheering about me being censored, especially considering that Cover tried to censor me themselves, even though this is freedom of speech and I didn't slander anyone and I provided receipts for everything I said and everything else was just my opinion. I'm sure the people who celebrated my ban would be happy to know that they're saying that the content you like is virtual CP. So that's good, but YouTube really lacks the discernment to be able to tell the content that's for education and raising awareness versus
That's see how that's highlighted. See YouTube. The thing with YouTube, they get triggered by a lot of tiny shit, especially talking about certain shit or putting awareness to certain shit because YouTube's not about that. But they always get the people who have good intentions out of here and have those people who. There was a YouTuber that people were talking about like a while ago who was saying some weird ass, gross ass, pedophilic shit, and it took him months to get fucking banned. But Brittany Venti puts out a video and gets banned instantly. And I'm not a fan of Victor Venti. Like I saw this shit that a friend sent me or whatnot. I was like, oh, Brittany, that's why Brittany Venti got banned. That's crazy. But yeah,
the content that's promoting that behavior. Before they just nuked my entire account, I had 0 strikes on it. And this video is 2 years old.
whoa! It's 2 years old. Oh shit! It's 2 years fucking old. That's wild.
Plenty of time to review it, and in fact, they did review it about 3 or 4 times before suddenly changing their mind 2 years later to strike my account for speaking out against predatory behavior. And I couldn't even reach out to Team YouTube on Twitter, which is the primary way people get.
We need fucking the YouTube phone number, bro. Like dead ass. Alphabet needs to release that shit. Because I'm getting fucking tired of seeing people go on to YouTube with their issues and YouTube not doing shit about it. Like YouTube won't do shit about it until that person gets like a bunch of retweets and shit like that. Until they have to fucking notice you and shit. See how dumb this system is, bro? The system's fucking dumb. Like, it's YouTube. Like, you know what's gonna happen? Another competitor is gonna come out and just fucking just take away just all this talent and shit like that. And YouTube is gonna be like another fucking TV station. It's only gonna have news and boring shit. But then again, drama sells. Drama definitely sells. And we're about to find out in a couple of videos.
Their strikes removed because I'm locked out on Twitter. As of this moment, I'm still locked because of the Eliza Blue situation. So basically, YouTube is not condoning anti-predator content, but they are also policing any sort of lolicon that's going on directly on the platform. I personally don't think lolicon's freedom of speech. I don't think it's anybody's right to sexualize children. And that predatory behavior is being normalized more and more as time progresses, to the point where if you even speak up about it, you get dogpiled. I think the difference between art and pornography, like lolicon, is that art has multiple case uses. You hang it on your wall, it's at a museum, you enjoy the beauty of it, the craft, etc. Pornography just really has one goal, which is to get somebody off. So that's really the difference. That's why you don't see people going to museums and jerking off. So I do think that art is free speech, and I also think that anti-predator content is free speech and shouldn't be censored. I'm glad that I'm back so I can post this huge video I made on YouTube tomorrow.
I do agree with her with this whole thing being like content like this shouldn't be content. Like if it's safe for work art, then let it be safe for work art. That's like recognizable. But like if it's dead ass just Anya from like fucking I remember one of my fucking podcast mates told me this shit talking about, hey fam, did you notice the dojin of Anya? And I was like, stop right there. Cause like, come on, this is when Spy X Family barely came out. has like anime form and got popular and shit. And I'm like thinking like I hope to God please don't loot the lowly. And not even a full month has passed and it is looted lowly. I hate it here, guys.
Tomorrow. But in those 2 hours where I was banned and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, I realized how important alt tech is. So I definitely will be establishing more of a presence on places like Rumble, and I already do have a locals. I'm actually already on Rumble. It's under the name Saturday Doll, and I have to ask them to change that, but it's under the channel Brittany Venti on that site. It's a little weird, I know. So if you want to follow me on there, you absolutely should. And if you want to keep up with me, follow me on locals. Or if you want to support my content, then feel free to subscribe on Patreon. I want to end on saying that I'm not the only one who thinks this. Other people are so creeped out by lolicon and how prevalent it is in anime that they refuse to even watch anime. And I'm someone who's saying this who's watched a lot of anime and has been for the last 20 years. I think there's a lot more artistic and creative value in not just taking the easy road of fan service.
We need to take a page from Magical Index instead of like fucking making a lowly lowly. No, you make them a petite little person. Even though I don't think Japanese people don't know how to make petite little people unless they're goblins or something. And even then, you rarely see those. We rarely get short stacks, don't we? Except for probably Minda and that chick that Usu chick or that Usu chan wants to hang out chick. She's actually just really short. She's just kind of just short stack. She's just really short.
And now that apparently includes
And she's an adult. She's a fucking adult. How come we don't have short stack appreciation? How come we gotta go straight to fucking lolicon and shit? That's just gross. Shotocon and lolicon. Get out of here.
because it's
I remember first being exposed to that shit, and I was asking for an anime recommendation, and luckily I didn't watch the video. No, I looked it up on like fucking other websites, and when I saw the cover, I was like, "Why is that a little girl? Why is this ice cream all over them?" Then I read the synopsis and just puked in my mouth because yikes, guys.
just
But no, I was also in on the joke too, the Boku no Pico joke. But like, I wasn't onto the joke like that, but like I would just talk about it with people and shit like that, being like, yeah, for some dude try to recommend that shit. I didn't watch it. Luckily, I didn't fucking watch it because like I was naive when I was young back then, and hentai barely exists back then too. That's the thing too. We only had Babo Black, which was a Fudamari hentai, which is has the best story. You know what? We need remakes of that shit. You know, Bible Black. Imagine.
so common in anime. Hypersexuality in general, so not talking about lolicon, can be funny in satirical form. It has its time and place. It can be for adults, but the time and place is not with children. So hopefully I don't get another strike by making this video. But anyway, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Turn the notification bell on. You know the deal. And thank you so much to everybody who got my account.
All right, bye, Brittany.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here.
Hey, now we on Rev. So I did watch some of this video, and I did go to her video first, so I could watch that whole thing before watching this one. So I have like what, 25 seconds of watching this.
So in this video, we're going to be talking about Gargura, someone I'm sure virtually every single person watching this video is familiar with. Now, over the past couple of weeks and months, there has been growing concerns about Gura's well-being. Now, 2023 has been a challenging year for her. She's had various health concerns as well as the continued stress that comes with being the biggest VTuber in the world and all of the work and attention that comes with it. So
you know what YouTubers need to do, especially when they're super popular? Take like a 3-month break.
Perhaps it's unsurprising that over the past...
People are not going to leave after 3 months, especially if you say you're going to take a cool break. Like, no one's not going to upsub or whatnot. You still gonna have people watching your videos and shit. Like, no, seriously. If you're a YouTuber, a popular YouTuber or whatnot, and you feel that you're stressed out from all the work or whatnot, take a 3-month break. You're not obligated to make videos every fucking time. Yeah, I know the algorithm fucking sucks, but your mental health needs to be your mental health needs to be balanced versus your algorithm being balanced. You need to be healthy when you do this shit, you know?
Couple of months, she has slowed down her streaming schedule. And this has still led to some genuine concerns from her fans, but those genuine concerns have now evolved into entitled demands that she needs to explain her situation and provide...
Case on point, you need to explain your fucking situation. Like, if you already said you're gonna do something and it's gonna be the Babylon Bee, yikes. If you already say that you're gonna take a break, you don't have to explain why you need to take a fucking break. Fuck out of here. Stop. People need to stop with this parasocial shit.
Provide more streaming content to her fans. And this was something that was really highlighted in her last stream that took place yesterday, where she dealt with not only the usual bombardment of antis attacking her, but even some of the members of her channel were sending hateful messages and demanding an explanation from Gura as to why she is not streaming as much as she had.
Yo, if somebody,
in the
hold on.
past.
If you have a fan base and somebody demands you should make videos and shit like that, just send them a middle finger. Just do that. Send them a dead ass middle finger to them. Send them like a fake dick pic or something, or send them like a picture saying "kiss my ass" or some shit. Like, don't have your fans tell you when to fucking upload and shit. That's weird. Stop being fucking weirdos on the internet. Fans need to stop being entitled. Or some certain toxic fans need to stop being entitled and shit. Like fucking Gokunar is their actual waifu. Fuck out of here, bro. She's a 2D fucking woman. Y'all need some y'all need some pussy in your guys' lives. I know y'all guys are like, oh, this guy's saying that, and he has an anime avatar too. Damn right, I'm saying it. Fuck y'all. Y'all guys need to get fucking laid.
Past. Now, we're going to talk about everything that has been going on with Gura over the past couple of months. We're going to remind ourselves as to how we got here, and then we're going to look at.
Wait, not even getting laid. Just go out there and do something else with your life instead of harassing a fucking anime girl on the internet. Like, what the fuck?
That stream.
Like, yikes.
And some of the messages and super chats that she received. And then we're going to look at the hysteria that has taken place across various social media networks in reaction to that stream. And before we get into those details, I just want to make it very clear. It's obvious that I am a very big Gargura fan. I've been her fan since her.
Man, the sipping start. Hold on. Oh man, the sipping starts now. Huh.
Debut. And I think.
Nah, he's not really sipping. Oh shit, wait. Accidentally hit the back button.
What's up, guys?
Boop.
I think she is someone at the top of her industry who you look at and you go, yeah, she deserves to be there because she's not only talented, very entertaining, but she's also embraced everything that is good in VTubing. She has embraced the VTuber culture and everything that has come with it.
Oh my god, oh, the simping.
And that is the form.
But I know he criticizes the people who he's fan of too, so like, I know Rev's gonna probably come through. I haven't watched this whole video yet. It's been 2 minutes already.
Formula to her success. And she's done all of this while dealing with a torrent of antis who are trying to chop her down at every single turn. In an environment, especially with English-speaking viewers, where a VTuber can get canceled for retweeting the wrong type of lewd artwork, Gura is out here retweeting lewds of her lolly character, and know what? It comes to virtually no outrage. It is always a feast of the eyes when you look at her profile.
See what he said? Did he play with those words or whatnot?
Like, no pun intended. But you know what else will have you eating good? The sponsor of today's video. To your doorstep that are cute and good. Again, a couple of months that have led to some of the into the content. Welcome back. So for the next couple of minutes, we're going to look at some of the key events going on with Gura over the past couple of months that have led to some of the concern about her well-being. Now, a lot of this started back in December when her streaming schedule began to slow down, and Gura finally on December 16th came out and said that she was dealing with some health issues and that she would be going to the doctors to get these things checked out. Well, you probably remember this message from December 21st, where Gura has an update in collaboration with How Alive, where they say that Gura will be taking an indefinite hiatus from streaming until her health improves and she can stream at a more consistent rate. And I remember reading this message, we covered it in a video. This first line alone, and I was not the only one, this made my heart drop. When you see this kind of language about Gura, I thought something much worse was going to be following. Not to say her health problems weren't concerning, but some people were literally reading this first sentence and thought they were going to read something about graduation afterwards.
Oh no, that'd be horrible.
This made it clear that she was not doing very well with her health, so she was taking a hiatus until it got better. Now, I mentioned this not only to explain the timeline of events here, but also a lot of people have been suggesting that if she's having health issues currently, that taking a hiatus and announcing that publicly would silence a lot of the criticism and people who are angry with her, which I will point out that when she made this announcement back then, while it was largely supported, there were many people who were still upset and they felt entitled to more content and they didn't accept this break. They actually valued more entertainment.
As I said before, stop having parasocial relationships with these people who don't fucking know you. Like, just because you give them bits and money and donations and all this other shit doesn't mean they're gonna come to your house and hang out with you. No, you don't even know how Garnaru real life face is. How the fuck you gonna like? How the fuck you gonna have a parasocial relationship with a person you haven't even seen before? What the fuck's going on here? She's an anime character.
Over her health, which how can you consider yourself a fan of someone if you care more about being entertained?
Yo, what if Goku Naru? I think I was saying Goku Naru. What if Nargaru Gara is a fucking dude and he's using a really good voice changer? That'd be hilarious.
Than their health. But
That'd be
nonetheless,
the
we move
hugest troll.
on to February 11th, almost 2 months later, where she made her return stream, which was a very successful stream. A lot of people were really looking forward to it. However, we all know that it's not just health concerns that lead to stress when you're someone like Gargura in a position at the top of the industry. You get a lot of attention, including negative attention. In this case, less than a week after her return stream, she announced in collaboration with Hololive a drop of her body pillow, the official body pillow celebrating 4 million subscribers, or something that really got...
Yikes, I bet you she got banked for this shit. Yo! Wait, what the fuck?
A lot of attention and a lot of support. It was something a lot of people were waiting for. However, this event was muddied down by something that she's faced all throughout her career, and that is antis. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of antis coming out of the woodwork.
Well, yeah, because she's losing the body pillow of a loli. Come on, fam.
Work to call her once again a pedo over the design of this body pillow and accuse CoverCorp and Hololive of selling literal CP and all of that stuff. And you know what? I mention this because I can't read Gura's mind, but I would imagine for someone who has been struggling with their health, they finally make a return to streaming, and then they come out shortly after with an exciting announcement like this.
Hold on, but it's a body pillow, though. We all know as anime degenerates what people do with body pillows. Fuck out of here.
And it gets muddied down by antis and people trying to demonize her and the product. And it leaves this bad taste in your mouth. It has to, right? And it's these external stresses that really add up.
I love how he's ignoring the body pillow thing. Like, if she put out like something else, like some artwork, that's fine. But a body pillow, come on.
And there's one other related case that I think is worth mentioning. I would love to think that Gargura is so above someone like Brittany Venti that she's like a fly that she doesn't even notice. But Brittany Venti has been coming out of the woodwork once again. She's paused accusing other people like Iron Mouse of things to once again begin her or resume her campaign attacking Gargura. She shared this message on Twitter a few weeks ago, basically saying that her original hit piece on Gargura from 2020, the Predator Problem video, has been taken down and hit with a community guidelines strike. And she has had that appeal rejected. And if you remember that video, it is something that I reacted to way back when. It was one of the most heavily disliked YouTube videos you'll see, where she accused Gargura shortly after.
That's because fucking stands and shit, and people who are of course she's gonna get hate bump for it.
Her debut of being literal pedo bait, and that her industry was surrounded by pedos and pedo sympathizers, and that her fans are nothing more than four.
Hey, hold on. Hold the fuck on. I need to find. Hold on, this says it right here. Shows are heavily censored, and drones content. Yeah, because he's saying some shit. Because like, she's saying the whole community is like that when it's only just a small section of the community. This is what I hate about generalizations. I really hate fucking generalizations because of this. Like, we don't go after individuals. No, we go after the whole community.
40-year-old pedos looking to exploit the literal child that is Gargura. And of course, I don't like the bending of the rules of anything, but some of the rules that they cite here I think are relevant. In the video, she shows literal toddler con to prove her point, and it wasn't even relevant to anything to do with Gura. And again, I don't like seeing anyone get strikes. I don't like seeing even my worst enemies or people I really dislike get strikes, because at the end of the day, I want everyone to be able to make content. But at the same rate, I'm not going to feel sorry for you in a situation like this where you made a hit piece on a completely innocent person and slandered their name and their company. I don't feel sorry for you at all. But I mention this because it's once again another stress coming up. She has been on Twitter trying to portray this as YouTube siding with predators, when in reality, it was a disgusting hit piece that anyone with a sense of self-awareness would be.
No, you know, I think what actually happened. Brittany Fenty put that stuff in there and got hit because she put those pictures in there. If she didn't put those pictures in there, it just would have been a hit piece. But she added actual fucking edited porn or consensual drawings or censored consensual drawings on her video. That's why she got hit.
Disgusted by that they produced something as bad as that. But here we are at the stream that really matters. This was the stream that Gargura made yesterday.
I gotta go to
This led
Gargura's,
a whole
what's the
host
name real
of
quick?
conversation on social media. So the issues with this.
Hold on real quick. Because I'm definitely where she allows this shit. Ah, here we go. Yep, haven't seen any nudity yet. Hmm. Oh no! Oh shit! Yeah, some of this is kind of racy, guys. But it's just like one picture. Nope. Another picture. Another picture. 4, 5. I'm literally in her fucking 6. In her fucking Goku Naru's what's call it? Yeah, this is not cool. Like some of the artwork in here is wholesome, but there's some of it that's not wholesome. Like it gives off those it gives off those sexual connotations. Connotations. I think I'm using that word wrong. That's the one that should be version of her twerking. That's hilarious. It's just her tail shaking. Yeah, good thing I don't follow her. Yeah, there is some artwork that's kind of racy, but it's not that bad. But since given the context of Goku Naru and her character being a lowly character, hmm. And there is no fucking what's the name saying that she's. Ah, shit! I pressed back by mistake. Let's go back. Wait, she has a gold badge? What's a trident emblem? You know what? No. Yeah, it's just her being adorable in some of these. But I don't know. There's one where she's in a basket full of plushies, and she's definitely naked in those plushies. So, yeah. Let's continue.
This
It's not looking good for Rev right
beginning
now.
in the pre-stream chat, which is something a little different. There was a lot of comments making entitled responses asking Gura for an explanation as to why she has slowed down her
She doesn't need an explanation. That's the thing.
streaming schedule over the past couple of months. And this came from not only aunties, but from some of her supposed fans and channel members as well. So here's a few of them asking Gura, explain please. The people have supported you for nearly 3 years, deserve to know what's going on. Communicate, Gura. Oh wow, look who's finally streaming, laughing my ass off. I guess she needs money. If Gura has any issues that prevent her from streaming, she could just tweet about it and inform us. It takes literally seconds.
No, it doesn't. When people don't want to do it, just don't let them. Just don't fucking bug them about it. And I love it's only 4 people saying this shit. It's not like a whole group. It's just 4 fucking people.
So a lot
Give us more examples, please.
of these responses are asking or demanding an explanation for as to where she has been and to make a measured response and give these fans what they're owed, which is both the explanation and more content as well. And I think these are a growing concern of entitled responses. Again, these people are a very small minority of Gura's community, but they're there and they're very noticeable and they definitely have a damper on the stream. It's obvious it impacted her.
I don't know how many people she has during her stream. Is she streaming right now? Where's Twitch? Let's see. GAWR. She does have a Twitch? I guess. Hold on. Oh, she does. Shit. She has 43. She has 43.5k followers. And did she just finish streaming videos? Um, feature past broadcast. When was the last time she streamed? I guess she hasn't streamed in a while. I guess. Oh well.
Because she was reading these things and eventually would close her pre-stream chat because she had no mods available to moderate what was going on.
Oh, maybe she has a YouTube stream. Okay. She has literally how many people? Yeah, it doesn't tell you how many people she's in that's in chat, does it? No, it doesn't here. Unless she shows it in her stream. Yeah, and given how fast her chat moves, damn, in less than 10 minutes there's already been that many people chatting. But it doesn't show who yeah, it doesn't show who how many people was in her stream. Unless I'm looking at this wrong. But no. It's probably like a bunch of people in her stream or whatnot, and
Number
messages
one,
are flashing
why
by
does
super
she
quick.
have no mods? That is a very legitimate question, but it was something that happened and she had to close the chat to deal with it. And I think these entitled responses definitely have to be hurtful. I mean, she's clearly going through some health issues and the regular stresses of her job, and now she has entitled people demanding an explanation, and even people like some of those aunties saying that she's only turning on the stream for monetary purposes, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I don't know the ins and outs of Gura's contract and her revenue sharing with Hololive, but when you've earned multiple millions of dollars in super chats alone,
It's probably 60-40 Hollow Live.
Which is only a fraction of the content she produces and the revenue sources, I think she's set for life. I don't think she ever has to turn on a stream to make any sort of money for whatever purpose. But nonetheless, things got bad enough that she had to turn off the pre-stream chat. Well, when we got into the stream itself, things did not slow down. She even had to pin some comments saying, Little update, I'm doing what I can when I can. I don't know what my new normal is or will be in terms of frequency. I just hope we can have a good time when we are together. So she is giving a bit of an explanation here because she
Yeah, bro. It looks like Rips is kissing a little bit of ass here because there is racy content that's on her account that she likes. It's like I know Rev's trying to be on her side and shit like that, but Britney's kind of right though, dead ass.
she's obviously
But it's not like she's showing like fucking her character being fucked by the characters, even though that is out there. But like it's not showing any of that on her on her Twitter account.
reading the chat and seeing all the things that people are saying and felt pressured into saying something, and a very reasonable one at that. There is no complacency here. A lot of people are blaming this on her success, that her success has made her complacent, that she feels like she doesn't have to stream as much. That is completely ridiculous. The problem with all of that is people look from the outside and only view her production of content through the number of streams she has, which is ridiculous.
Who are these crazy entitled idiots? That's what I want to know. Who are these entitled bastards who just comes in the stream just demanding shit? I want to know if they do look like fat ass fucking coomers that sit on a computer all day just waiting for their fucking person to fucking stream. I wonder if that's how it fucking looks like dead ass. I wonder if there's like just have Cheeto dust, the fucking beard and shit, the fucking I hope my little she was freaking pronounced today. I need explanations for my thing the other day. I miss it so much. That's probably what it is. It's probably how they sound like too. Yikes.
That is clearly only a fraction of all the work she is doing. We have no idea the lengths of the things she's doing behind the scenes, not only preparing for concerts and things like that, but there is a lot of content that she has to produce to fulfill her role in Hollow Live. Her role that is quite literally the top VTuber in the world. It's not just her streams that she is producing for content. There's so much more that goes into it. But when the stream happened itself, the messages didn't stop. It continued from the pre-stream chat.
I'm only going to mention this once, but I think the problem most people have with you isn't your streaming frequency, it's consistency. Saying one thing but doing another. I do not want to see you grow as a creator and has I want you to I want this I do want to see you grow as a creator and an individual. That's that's why we choose to watch you. Yikes.
That it's all very entitled. This person donating $100 to say this super chat message saying, "Hey Gura, I'm not only gonna mention this one."
Hey yo, she got a $300 for a fucking insult. God damn, that sucks.
Once, but I think the problem most people have with you isn't your streaming frequency; it's consistency.
See, even he has dyslexia.
Saying one thing but doing another. I do want to see you grow as a creator and as an individual. It's why we chose to watch you. Which, again, completely entitled and delusional response, putting so much weight on the frequency of her streams without any regard for her health or her well-being. It's just, we want entertainment, we want production, don't care about the rest. And honestly, it's just sad. It's a sad state of affairs, and the reason I mention this whole arc, everything leading up until the stream from yesterday and then the fallout of the stream itself, is because I can't imagine these things are good for Gura, right? Imagine having health problems, right? You're already having a difficult time streaming in the first place. And then you finally get some rhythm going, and
you know, she should be like, fuck you guys, I'm out. Just bounce. Like, you ungrateful bastards.
You're hit with a bombardment of not just aunties making rude comments about you, but you have your own channel members and members of your community making super chats demanding an explanation as to where you've been. And it makes the stream a lot less comfortable to watch. Like, seeing messages like this pop up is not enjoyable for anyone. And besides the fact they're unfair, it just derails the good time that people are trying to have in her stream. And really, again, the concern is not about whether she's not streaming enough. The concern is the reasons why, and if the added stress of her own community beginning to attack.
I put it on a pillow though? Come on, there's other things you could have put out there. Like, you could have put out like a plushie of your fucking shark as a mascot. But a pillow? Come on.
In some cases, is that adding more
Do
fuel to the fire.
Do accessories. You have accessories on. You make real life accessories. The fuck you mean? A body pillow. I'm still pissed off about that body pillow shit.
With
And this grown ass man's gonna be like, oh man, fucking, it's just. He's gonna ignore the fact that it's a body pillow. That's wild. Cause like, hold on, I gotta rewind this back. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So, I have it blocked off here, but in the video or whatnot.
And this that where she made her return stream, which was a very successful stream. A lot of people were really looking forward to it. However, we all know that it's not.
So, I don't know if you guys can see it, but under here you can see a little bit of a panty line right here of the body pillow she was talking about. He was talking about.
Lead to stress when you're someone like Gargura, weak and
Where
a lot of
is
support.
it?
It was something a lot of people
God
were
damn it.
waiting for. However, this event was muddied down by something that she's faced all throughout her career. Work, stresses. I would really add to think fly or a hit key that her is a very that it's
Okay, I can't find it.
Accept this break. They actually valued more entertainment over her health, which how can you consider yourself a fan of someone if you care more about being entertained than their health? Another related case that I think is worth mentioning, I would love to think that Gargura is so comment saying, little update, I'm doing what I can when I can. I don't know what my new normal is or will be in terms of frequency. I just hope we can have a good time when we are together. So she is giving a bit of an explanation here because she's obviously reading the chat and seeing all the things that people are saying and felt pressured into saying something, and a very reasonable one at that. There is no complacency here. A lot of people are blaming this on her success, that her success has made her complacent, that she feels like she doesn't have to stream as much. That is completely ridiculous. The problem with all of that is people look from the outside and only view her production of content through the number of streams she has, which is ridiculous. That is clearly only a fraction of all the work she is doing.
Because people need content. Oh, give me my content. Oh, please, Goku Naruto, give me more content so I can feel happy about my life. Oh, I must have a parasocial relationship with me giving you $100 and verbally abusing you via chat. Oh, hate it here.
We have no idea the lengths of the things she's doing behind the scenes, not only preparing for concerts and things like that, but there is a lot of content that she has to produce to fulfill her role in Hololive. Her role that is quite literally the top VTuber in the world. It's not just her streams that she is producing for content. There's so much more that goes into it. But when the stream happened itself, the messages didn't stop. Dollar goes to sad.
This fucking degenerate parasocial fucking idiot paid $100 to fucking take the biggest L in his whole fucking fan career. Look, I mean, I hope this guy gets super bad or removed off the internet. It's like people can't have lives. You have to make content for me and only me because I'm your loyal fan and I give you money just so you can make more content. So yes, fucking tell me what's happening in your life, even though I know you don't want to, and you're probably stressing from my comment. Please tell me what's going on with your life that I would tell me. Let me ask this in the most rudest way possible to fuck up your mental health because my only entitled mental health only counts because I'm entitled. I gave you $100 fucking. Oh my god, people are fucking degenerates. Fucking dumbass fucking people need to go outside and touch grass.
And then the fallout of the stream itself is because I can't imagine these things are good for Gura, right? Imagine having health problems, right? You're already having a difficult time streaming in the first place. And then you finally get some rhythm going and you're hit with a bombardment of not just aunties making rude comments about you, but you have your own channel members and members of your community making super chats demanding an explanation as to where you've been. And it makes the stream a lot less comfortable to watch. Like, seeing messages like this pop up is not enjoyable for anyone. And besides the fact they're unfair, it just derails the good time that people are trying to have in her stream. And really,
Now, even though I don't agree with Rev sometimes, he is actually right. People are just trying to have fun and live their lives while watching this stream and enjoying her content. People don't need to be rolling up talking about, oh, you owe me an explanation why you haven't streamed in 3 or 4 months. Fuck out of here.
again, the concern is not about whether she's not streaming enough. The concern is the reasons why, and if the added stress of her own community beginning to attack her in some cases, is that adding more fuel to the fire with Gura, and is it going to
You know what? Ever since COVID, it's fucked up our warped the way of fucking going out socially and non-socially towards people or whatnot. And we still have entitled bastards even after COVID, because all this shit popped off during COVID. By the way, like a lot of this VTuber shit popped off during COVID.
impact her desire to stream and interact with her community? Is it going to be the same as it's always been? Or is it going to be just more stress added on? These are all questions that we can only speculate about, and that's really all there is to it. And I don't want to get into certain examples. I don't want to show attention to these, but across whether it's 4chan or some of the subreddits, there is a lot of hysteria following that stream. There's a lot of doom posting, people thinking this is the end, and the sign that bad things are
Yeah, I had to hop on 4chan real quick, see how they're doing in VTube.
coming, which I think, based on everything I've said, it's pretty obvious, I think is ridiculous, and it's only making things worse, right? And I've even seen some people bringing up her past life, which I can't refer to her old former career, and I don't really want to because it's not technically confirmed, so I don't want to get drone striked by Cover Corp for saying it. But some people are bringing up perceived health problems that she had in her past life that might be resurfacing now, and people are making all kinds of schizo posts about that. And I think that's completely out of line. The second you start talking about past lives, full stop. You're wrong for that. And it's just invasive.
No, he's right. Don't fucking pry into people's past trying to put it out there. So I fucking hate cancel culture now because they go into people's past who has changed and become better people, but they try to ruin their lives because of it. Because they made a post 10 years ago about saying, ew, that's gay. Like, like really? It's a fucking internet post. Like, fucking go outside and touch the grass again.
And weird. But that is going to do it for this video. I appreciate.
But nah, bro. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give you that L for that shit, bro. Like that ass. You're gonna ignore the fact that she put out a body pillow, and you know what body pillows are fucking used for. You know what they're used for. Man, you fucking know what they're fucking used for. Fuck out of here. All right, it's time for good old Charlie. Let's do this shit.
I may not be at a fine dining establishment
Look at this fucking god here. I need to buy this fucking comic one time.
right now, but I'm still serving up a large glass of wine. I just have to complain and rant about something in this video that's just
Yo, dead ass. If he cuts his hair, that'd be wild.
been grinding my gears for quite some time now because the problem still exists and it's not getting any better in the industry. So stand back, you're about to enter the splash zone. I'm about to get real passionate, which means I'm gonna start spitting. How can it possibly be that 2023 years after the death of Christ, we are still releasing games with a dog shit PC port? How
Oh, is he talking about fucking the new Star Wars?
are we not learning from past mistakes, from previous sins of our fathers, from the countless other awful PC ports that have ruined games? Why is this still not only a problem, but actually getting worse?
Because money.
It makes no sense. This is actually a SpongeBob, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man moment. It'll be no surprise what prompted this video. It was the Star Wars
Caught it!
Jedi Survivor game. I'm sure all of you have read the headlines and seen the reviews.
For a visual note, I kind of threw my hands in the air, but no. Let's actually go to something I've been trying to like get into for our last cool minute. It's gonna be a 20-minute video made by Manga Common. Oh shit, it's Manga Common. Okay, that's a good name.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's called the cheating Yu-Gi-Oh game.
It's a franchise.
I've been getting like fucking. Oh, it's this guy. Oh shit, I didn't know it was this guy. I've seen this guy before, but that's besides the point. I've been watching Forbidden Memories videos on speedruns for like a cool week now, and it's been popping up in my algorithm ever since I've been watching those videos of those meme videos of people beating other people with weird ass decks. It's funny.
franchise that stood the test of time, and for better or worse, has been fun to talk about on the channel. Although I would guess that at least one of my editors is plotting my demise for having them edit so many Yu-Gi-Oh videos. But I figured I'd take my chances and talk about some of the Yu-Gi-Oh video games. I mean, I'm not gonna touch Master Duel for a while, mainly because the cancer that is T-Elements that has already infested the game.
Yeah, fucking. I uninstalled the game because it's getting stupid now. How like people would just like OTK decks online is the most annoying shit, and they want to say, "Oh, that's just a skill issue." If you're not able to play a match, how the fuck is it a skill issue? That's not a skill issue, my guy. That's just getting fucked turn one. I mean turn zero. Like word.
So I figured we'd take a look into the distant past and talk about a few of the older Yu-Gi-Oh
Oh shit.
games. One that too many has been.
So I had the sealed the sacred cards and the cards that belong to this. Like I think those cards cost a lot now. But yeah, I played this one. I actually had the cartridge for this.
One that too many has been long sealed away in a tomb within our memories. A forbidden memory, one might say.
What the hell?
Streamer rage.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, the topic of today's video, was a game for the original PlayStation that came out in 1999 in Japan. And for us filthy gun-slinging Americans, it was 2002. It was one of the earliest Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games that many people from the 90s can remember, and
by the way, that's Kariba.
To be honest, it really shows its age. When the game came out, it was met with mixed reviews, being released way back into the Duel Monsters age of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even the rules for Forbidden Memories itself reflects that to a degree. And you really only need to look towards some of the character designs and how
You can get a Gate Guardian?
they have that old retro look, or how they have some oddities here.
Yeah, this is from I guess this is from the artwork from Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. Because look at Kaiba. And look at fucking Joey. Holy shit. Like I know Pegasus is later, but like a lot of these designs look like it came from season 0. Even though we didn't have Weevil, My, Rex, and a Bandicoot.
And how they have that old retro look, or how they have some oddities here. For example, look at Isis, who is obviously supposed to be a Shizu Ishtar, only with evil eyes. Or the fact that certain characters are in completely non-canon events. There's about as much continuity in this timeline as there is if you tried to make sense of every piece of macaroni art you made as a kid. Basically, continuity with original Duel Monsters canon ain't gonna happen. The only continuity you're gonna get is that Duelist of the Roses is canon to this game. And
Are you serious? I had Duels of Roses. That game was fucking difficult. Fuck that game, bro. So basically, it's a tactics game where you go through a maze, but you have to play cards to beat monsters and shit, while your opponent gets to play like it's a weird ass fucking game.
For some reason, Prince Henry Tudor suddenly thinks that mulling your hair after Patrick Starr is the greatest fashion statement of all time. The story is also really bare bones, and it amounts to being some abridged fan fiction that someone who drunkenly
Oh my god,
the entire Duel Monsters.
I forgot. I'm still subscribed to her. She does like a fangirl shit, like fangirl does X when you do X or some weird shit.
Script would have wrote. The only thing you're here for is the gameplay. Oh, and the music too, I guess. Contrary to what reviewer scores say, Forbidden Memories has an interesting gameplay loop to it. Now, if you think you're throwing down about $400 in order to play Kashtira and essentially make it so your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is gonna help you here, you're either delusional or you've never played this game. Considering how old this game is, I'm assuming you're basically sucking a pacifier and going, "Mommy, who is this mean old man mewing at me?" So let me tell you now, the rules have...
Oops, wait, no! Actually, did that.
Visit a game you could never beat as a kid. Just
by the way, that's the next video, by the way.
Now, if you think you're throwing down about $400 in order to play Kashtira and essentially...
I love how he uses Charlie for that meme. Hold on. Gotta wind that.
Contrary to what reviewer scores say, Forbidden Memories has an interesting gameplay loop to it. Now, if you think you're throwing down about $400 in order to play Kashtira and essentially make it so your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is gonna help you here, you're either delusional or you've never played this game. Considering how old this game is, I'm assuming you're basically sucking a pacifier and going, "Mommy, who is this mean old man mewing at me?" So let me tell you now. The rules have said, screw your money, Seto, I am the rules. And those rules are also kind of broken too. Now, in the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, monsters were essentially just the canes that the rich old guy in something like Oliver Twist would bludgeon his wife with.
God
And
damn.
whoever had the bigger number was going to be the winner, at least until the creator.
Oh fuck. I forgot Exodius in this game.
Peace, my lord and savior Kazuki Takahashi changed the manga to follow the card game because it got super popular. The same thing can apply here, and much like the early manga and anime editions of the game, stars on a monster are just decorations. The higher the star rating, the brighter the Christmas tree, basically. You don't need to tribute cards in order to play stronger ones. Monsters don't have effects, and every time you start your turn, you draw till you have 5 cards in your hand. It basically did what Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s did before 7s. Yay! Other changes that were applied is that you can only play 1 card per turn onto the field, so you can either play a monster, spell, or trap card once per turn. Granted, if you're starting to get one too many cards in your hand,
Oh, that's horrible. I didn't know that.
for your liking, there's a neat little trick that you can do that my editor likes to call bullsh. I mean fusion. Fusion in the original play 1 card per turn onto the field, so you can either play a monster, spell, or trap card once per turn. Granted, if you're starting to get one too many cards in your hand for your liking, there's a neat little trick that you can do that my editor likes to call bullsh.
Rainbow Flower. Yamato Dragon's Crown. This monster may attack your life points directly. Oh, that's what those two fusions do. 2100. Yeah, fusion. This game's weird.
I mean fusion. Fusion in the original TCG was basically when you used a special spell card to combine 2 monsters into a brand new one. It was a very common thing to see this in decks at the time. But in this awkward PS1 game, it was quite a weird oddity. Aside from the fact there's no need for a spell card to activate fusion, it merely requires you to move the cursor to the cards you want and selecting them with the up button, there are some very weird and random fusion results you can get. Mind you, it wasn't always nonsensical. For example, combining a dragon and a thunder monster to get Thunder Dragon, or the superior twin-headed Thunder Dragon, or combining a fire monster with a warrior will get you a fire warrior like King Swordsman. But if you're not careful when you combine cards, it can bite you in the ass. The way this works is if you have a combination that ends up being wrong, then whichever card was played first will be discarded. In almost every way, fusion is your go-to trump card for a majority of the game, and the results can be life-saving. But let's say the card you got isn't enough, and you know it. You're biting your nails wondering what to do. You have what it takes to make a twin-headed Thunder Dragon, but your opponent has a Black Skull Dragon. Your measly twin-headed good boy ain't gonna cut it. But then, like a light in a dark void, something catches your eye. That's right, you see the one, the only, Bright Castle! You have at your disposal what are known as spell and trap cards. Much like the actual game, you can play a variety of spell or traps, all of them offering just as many effects that can range from stat buffs to stat debuffs for your opponent, all the way to nuking an entire field. Let's say you play a field spell which can power up some monsters by 500 points, or lower the power of some monsters. Some monsters will get a buff, but others might get nothing, or get worse. So playing stuff...
Yeah, I like the fucking shit in this game, bro. Or I mean, the way his editing style is. That's just funny. It's pushing my 2012 of memery.
Like fairies or machines are honestly a detriment to play since they're more often than not be at a disadvantage. The crisp spells, however, are more often your best bet for turning a bad situation around since they allow you to power up your monster
5,000
points each. Although Megamorph will boost your monster by 2, meaning it's double the normal stat buff. But you also have to be careful because some equipped cards cannot be used on some monsters. And some cards are just completely useless. Take the ritual cards for example. Much like in real-life Yu-Gi-Oh!, ritual cards aren't great. Not only due to the fact that you need to have 3 separate and specific monsters on the field, some of which are incredibly hard to detect.
What?
Like in real-life Yu-Gi-Oh!, ritual cards aren't great. Not only due to the fact that you need to have 3 separate and specific monsters on the field, some of which are incredibly hard to get on their own, but rituals are essentially phased out because you're better off just trying to get the monster cards themselves. Let's give an example. Let's say you want to play Magician of Black Chaos, and for some reason you've consumed enough alcohol to get it via ritual summoning. You need the following cards. Winged Dragon of the Fortress 1. Okay, that makes sense since that was a card in the original Yugi's deck and was the first monster he ever played in the anime. But Blast Juggler is also one of those cards. For some damn reason. I guess the developers decided to huff some of Blast Juggler's special fuel. And then there's Dark Magician. Now, you may be thinking to yourselves, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. You're just complaining about collecting cards.
You probably have to fuse into Dark Magician. I bet you probably have to fuse into Dark Magician.
Oh, you sweet, demented fools and ignorant children. Here's the thing. If you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh!, you're probably thinking to yourself that probably the hardest card to get in this game is Dark Magician. And don't get me wrong, we'll talk about card drops in a little bit, but there are only about 4 opponents that you can possibly, and I mean possibly, get the card from. Either in the campaign or in Free Duel, where you'll spend most of your time in the game. But
Yikes.
here's the kicker. You can never play the ritual spell because you can't get Winged Dragon #1 in this game. Forbidden Memories has a total of 722 cards.
Wait, what? That's
In
wild!
the game. However, 33 of those cards are unattainable in the Western releases of it. You can only get 689 of those cards. Hell,
What is that? Why do we have less cards in the English version than the Japanese version? I never understood that shit.
you can't even get the Dark Magic Ritual card because of this. Even the game's auto-win condition, Exodia, is locked behind this, with 2 of its pieces being a part of the 33 locked cards.
Oh, that sucks.
Now, you may be wondering yourself, why are these 33 cards unattainable in a game that's essentially a prehistoric gacha game from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Ages, where the point is to get the cards? Well, to make a long story short, there was a device called the Pocket Station. It was a Japanese memory card peripheral that allowed you to play small mini-games on it and access specialized content for certain games. And it was only available in Japan. And wouldn't you know it, Forbidden Memories was one of those games. And unfortunately, those who got the game in the US and Europe got screwed over twofold. The first is that Sony never released the Pocket Station outside of Japan. Duh. And the second was, even if you got your hands on a Pocket Station for those secret cards, Konami themselves removed the support of the Pocket Station from Forbidden Memories.
Why, though?
Although, funnily enough, games like Final Fantasy VIII, even when localized, still had the Pocket Station support in it. So, for a card collecting game, this is nothing short of a pure what the f*** from me and anyone who knows about this.
Yeah, that sucks. That really just fucking suck. Imagine you're getting a game and you need an expansion pack in order to experience the whole game. Wow. It's like we never seen this shit before, Nintendo.
Sir, I've removed the Pocket Station stuff from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Good, now ship this crap out. But sir, I
Why did you sound like Kaiba?
still have to program the cards that were on the Pocket Station. To quote a certain someone, what were they thinking? Thank God for mods. Now here's a joke to lighten the mood a bit. Card drops in Forbidden Memories. That was a lie. It's not even a joke. There is a card drop system, and it's bad. So for the uninitiated, I'm going to explain how to get cards. First, there's the drop mechanic, the joke. Whenever you defeat an opponent, depending on how you do in the game, you get a rank, and that'll determine 2 of your prizes. The card you get as a reward, and the number of star chips, which can be used to get you more cards. That's right, more cards! But while the drop system was a joke, this next method of getting cards is even more akin to a nightmare.
Wait a minute. Something's missing here. That's what's missing. My video. I done watched half the fucking video. I was like, why am I watching this on the wrong screen? There we go.
You see, back in the day, if you had the actual cards, you could input the numbers on the card's left corner into a good number of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. You can actually get the card for yourself to use in them. It was a simple thing that really tied the TCG to the video game counterpart, something that the current games don't actually do. And I know what you're thinking. Well, there you go, Common. Now you can get the better cards. You just gotta grind. However, you are so wrong that you make me want to bust out a dead meme. You see, in the infinite wisdom of the Konami developers, they decided to make the prices for a number of iconic cards be a pretty hefty penny, even for cards that aren't that good. And what number was this hefty cost at? Well, I'll tell you this much. Thanos doesn't think it was worth it.
Wait.
Oh my fucking god, do you
Hold
see
on.
this?
Wait a fucking minute. There's no way. That has to be a fucking joke. Hold the fucking on.
The infinite wisdom of the Konami developers. They decided to make the prices for a number of iconic cards be a pretty hefty penny, even for cards that aren't that good.
Tiger Axe?
And what
Tiger Axe is a 16 beater, right?
number was this hefty cost at? Well, I'll tell you this much. Thanos doesn't think it was worth it.
Holy shit! It's a 1300 beater? Damn, this game sucks.
Oh my fucking god, do you see this? It's bad enough you can only get a max of 5 chips per victory, but 999,999 star chips? If you convert this many star chips to dollars, you'd be looking at the same price Elon Musk spent on purchasing Twitter. So if you wanted to spend time getting enough star chips for this, you'd be looking at yourself in the mirror when you were geriatric by the time you got a single good card. If you're a fresh young kid and have even a single good card from this system, then you might as well roll me up in a Bugatti and say, what shade of white is your blue eyes white dragon? So as you can see, your access to some cards is nearly impossible. So unless you can use a Game Shark or you can mod the game, you're kinda screwed. Of course, that's not the only way the game cheats you. It's just one of the biggest middle fingers that this game likes to give.
So when I was watching a couple of speedrun videos while I was playing my Pokemon Infinite non-playthrough, I heard that the game actually cheats by knowing what's in your hand and not give you a fuck what monsters is on the field. Now all games with CPUs do this shit. Cause I believe how it goes priority of what number each card, like let's say they have a number between 1 and 5, right? And you have 2 3s in your hand and 2 5s in your hand, right? And a 1 spell. Even though you prioritize that those 2 5 cards or whatnot, it would go after the highest value. It will still go after the highest value of that hand and take that card out of your hand or whatnot. And it sees those values even though it's unaware of what your deck is. Like, don't you find it weird that in some Pokemon games or in some card games, they know what exact card to pluck out your hand?
People. But here's the thing. The game can be tolerable.
Like Magic does this, Pokemon did this,
For
fucking
example, your starting deck is randomized. And
yeah.
if you can make this card, you at the very least stand a chance. The busted fusion mechanic allows you to take any dragon that has over 1600 attack points and any thunder monster. Then you can create this 2,800-ton battleship and mop up the early parts of the game fairly easily, even without many equips. Or so you think. So here's the thing about Forbidden Memories. When you're playing the game, last parts of the prologue set up, there's quite a bit of a jump in difficulty. And it's all thanks to this guy, Haitian. I think that's how you pronounce it. One of the major antagonists of the game. And it's basically an early sneak peek into the difficulty of the latter half of the overall game. And here's something I need to explain to you. If you lose any duel in the campaign, save for this one scripted one against Hasten, that's it. You're done. This isn't too bad if you do save every so often. However, in the latter half, you have to deal with the high mages and their lackeys. At the temples, each representing one of the different field spells in
Yeah, I was told about this shit too.
the game. You need to defeat the lackey, then the mage. Then you can leave after you beat the lackey, but if you do and return to the temple, you're going to be facing the lackey again. You gotta beat the high mage too at the same time, otherwise you'll be stuck. And some of these mages pack as much punch as Haitian. And our good boy here just ain't gonna cut it by himself. It might not be a terrible challenge for some, but considering what my editor went through in an old Let's Play he did...
Oh my fucking god! What?
Okay, yeah, he snapped.
For some, it's an eldritch nightmare. But I also bring this up because of the final gauntlet. You see, for the final part of the game, you need to face off against 6 opponents without saving. So if you lose to one of them, then you're out. And this sucks because these guys have the best cards in the game, including the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, a monster that has 4,500 attack points. And that wouldn't be so bad, but the AI cheats. Yeah, you heard me. This game legit cheats you. You remember when I brought up Game Shark? Well, there's a code that allows you to see what cards your opponent has in their hand, and it was confirmed that the game will actively change the...
Whoa! You're fucking with me.
500 attack points. And that wouldn't be so bad, but the AI cheats. Yeah, you heard me. This game legit cheats you. You remember when I brought up Game Shark? Well, there's a code that allows you to see what cards your opponent has in their hand, and it was confirmed that the game will
And it changed. So the video that I watched said the AI had 20 cards in their hand.
actively change the cards in their hands in order to counter your stronger monsters. The game literally pulls a Bandit Keith on your ass. So this game is actively kicking you in the balls and shoving a hot fireplace poker up your ass.
Yo, that's wow. I'm gonna play this game now. A game that has fucking SNK syndrome. Let's go.
While expecting you to sit there and beg for more. It will do whatever it can to screw you over. It's hard, very hard, unreasonably hard even. But it's not impossible. There are a few tips that you can do in order to maximize your chances to beat this dirty cheater. Tip number 1. You need Raigeki or Black Hole. Remember when I talked about how your starter deck was randomized? Yeah, much like how a ton of Pokemon players will farm starters to get a shiny or the right nature, you want to do the same with your starting deck to have either of these cards. Raigeki is a spell that destroys all your opponent's monsters. Meanwhile, Dark Hole destroys everything. Raigeki is the obvious better pick since you don't run the risk of destroying any of your cards, but Black Hole is your next best option. Tip number 2. Farm Simon. So, this one can be missed, since at the start of the campaign, you run away from a guy named Simon Moran. He's the first duelist in the game that you can challenge, and once you do, you can farm him in Free Duel, which can get you a lot of cards that are useful for the early game, and get some star chips too. Tip number 3. Fusion Rules. You want to really utilize the fusion mechanic pretty quick, as it allows you to create powerful cards from weaker ones. I already brought up the Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon example, but if you combine plants with a zombie, you get Pump King, the King of Ghosts. Fusing a plant and a dragon will net you B-Dragon Jungle King. And combining a zombie and a dragon will get you Cursed Dragon, depending on certain factors. Those factors being that you need to consider the attack points of your monsters before fusing them. If, for example, we have a dragon and a plant looking to make B-Dragon Jungle King, either of them have more than 2100 base attack points, that fusion will fail. Oh, and 2 things that the game doesn't tell you is that some cards are multi-typed, and the game will always go with the weakest result when you fuse with them.
Really?
So if you had Dragon Zombie, a card that counts for fusion for a dragon and a zombie type, if you combine it with a thunder monster, you'll get Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Tip number 4. Get Jirai Gumo. Okay, so this is basically an easy card to get that has high attack value. Nightmare Fuel over here is a 2200 attacker that gains advantage in the forest, and oddly enough is really cheap to get via the password. For about 80 star chips. That's about 16 5-star duels to get.
16 5-star duels. Let's go!
And it isn't hard to achieve. It's a strong card that doesn't need fusion to make. Tip number 5. Guardian Stars. So here's something that I missed earlier, but each card has 2 Guardian Stars to them. Think of them as elements, and each star is strong against another, and this is shown whenever you battle an opponent. What happens is that if a monster has a stronger Guardian Star than the other, it gains 500 attack during the battle.
Okay.
Here's a diagram on
Yikes! I hate this diagram.
screen to explain it. Think of it like typing in Pokemon. The Water Star beats the Fire Star. Sorry, Charizard, but Blastoise beats you. And word of advice? The CPU will typically pick the default Guardian Star. Take advantage of it. Tip number 6. Farm the Meadow Mage. For some damn reason, this ugly SOB here has the best drops in the entire game. I'm not kidding. When you get to the second half of the game, go to the Meadow Temple, beat this loser the first time, leave, and go farm in Free Duel. If you can get high ranks against this guy, he'll drop cards such as the Dark Magician, Gaia the Fierce Knight, and of course, the GOAT. The GOAT! This
hey, yo, I'm still in that meme.
is Meteor Black Dragon, a card that by itself can pretty much win all but one fight without a single equip card. Blue Eyes White Dragon, trash. Gate Guardian, with the Sun Guardian, he went from being the gatekeeper to being gate kept. Ultimate Dragon? Yeah, you're gonna need like 3 bright casts to do this. So yeah, the GOAT of Free Duels. I don't know why he drops the best cards in the game, but he just does. Tip number 7. Farm Pegasus for spells. So, in order to do this tip, you're going to have to beat your opponent by deck out. And in this case, we're talking Pegasus. There are two different classifications to get the S rank. Power, abbreviated as POW, where you get to beat your opponent in a few turns through raw, brute force, and Tech, where you deck out your opponent. Essentially, your grade reflects in your skill rather than your big fat meat stick. S-Tech, however, takes a good while since your opponent is running about a 40-card deck, but you can get some pretty good spell cards. Hell, if you've been grinding, you can get yourself a Bright Castle equip spell that I mentioned before, which can power up any monster by 500 points. And Pegasus is the one character who drops it the most.
Yeah, because he has tunes.
I'd recommend you farm some good OP monsters that keep him on the defensive after he wastes a few cards in Fusion, since you draw as many cards as the Fusion wasted. Just don't fuse anything yourself. Tip number 8. After you beat about 2 high mages, you can unlock an easily missable duel against Seto, one of the final boss rush additions. The Labyrinth Mage is also a part of the story section, and if you do this, you'll remove one part of the boss rush. Granted, this is for a game that's well over 20 years old at this point, but people are still playing this game to this day. And hell, there's a healthy mod community for it. One mod that really works is the 5-card drop, which, if the name didn't give it away, whenever you beat an opponent, you get 5 cards instead of 1. And one mod
Okay, that's cool.
that I personally like is FM Arrange. Not only does it have a 5-card drop, but also included new cards from the other generations of Yu-Gi-Oh!, has a bit more balance on strong cards, made the card prices a bit more manageable, makes the card text much more understandable, and overall I find it to be a much more fun experience. AI still cheats like a bitch though. In any case, if you guys want to get the chance, go find yourself a ROM and emulator to play this game, or...
You know, I'm gonna do that. Now I'm interested in playing this fucking game since all the new shit's boring to me. Because it's all the same 3 decks. Everything. Even in Magic.
you want to slog through
Like Pokemon fucking, not Pokemon Go, what is it called? Pokemon Live fucking's trash. MTGA's boring. And fucking Yu-Gi-Oh's is dead ass. Y'all don't get to have fun. Or play.
the original, then you can
Imagine dying at turn 0, as I was saying in the other video.
always pick up a copy from Amazon. I see used copies on there going for about $60 to $70. Honestly, a reasonable price. Or I'm just a simp for nostalgia. Either way, with that, I bid you adieu. I'm Manga Common, and remember that you too could be the reincarnation of an ancient Egyptian prince. Either that or...
Do you ever revisit a game you could never beat as a kid just to see if it was really easy and takes
You know what, guys? With that said, I hit my limit, and I have to bounce. GG's, everyone. This has been a fun ass fucking reaction stream, and I'm gonna post the rest of this on probably YouTube. Probably gonna have to start editing too, you know. But with that said, deuces, y'all. Outro.